Hey everyone, Chris Hansen here of Hansen vs. Predators and Catch Your Predator. Why don't you have a seat right over there and listen to Kyle and Brandon, our podcast. According to my chat logs, Kyle and Brandon have interesting guests.
No, I hated it.
Yeah.
Everybody's sweaty, everybody's on drugs, so they're super sweaty but also touchy. And then they touch your face, then you leave there, and the next day you have pimples.
Fantastic conversation.
He's underground in a lab, floating in a tank of water because he almost died.
And most important, no predators.
Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. 'Cause I think that's where you'll find him. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it?
This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
I can't believe words are still coming out of my mouth at this point.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey, Internet, and welcome back to another episode of the Intoxicated Podcast. I am your host, Sarah McClellan, and this is a comedy variety talk show where I shoot the shit with comedians, creators, and characters about the messiness of life. You are seeing the time right on this episode. This is a long Rogan length episode. Holy shit. This is a very long one, you guys, so I'm keeping this very, very quick. This week's guest is Thomas Kennedy. Thomas is somebody I met through comedy recently who actually was a fan of Intoxicated before he even met me. So he was a listener of the podcast. We met at a show. He is back doing comedy now, and we are in the throes of COVID comedy together. This was an epic episode. We talked about I would say just about everything. This is pretty much, he kind of said it himself that it's pretty much his life story, even though I think there's still more to this guy that we can dive into. But we covered a lot on this episode. This is epic. This is a long one. I don't expect anyone to listen to this in one sitting. If you do, you are a trooper. But honestly, it's really, really good. And I think if you like it, you can pick away at it, throughout your week. These are the types of conversations I love. There was laughing. There was even some crying on my end. This was a wild ride. Do make sure to follow Thomas Kennedy on Instagram. He needs the followers. He is new to social media, so do make sure to follow him. His Instagram handle is I'm Thomas Now. I will link below to that. Make sure you give him a follow. Follow Intoxicated on social media as well. If you're not already, I don't know what you're doing. That is Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast and on Twitter at @in_intoxicated. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a lot of stuff up on there right now. I'm very proud of it. You can check out my 3-part stand-up series, Sarah Tries Stand-Up. And as well, I have a reaction video to my second set at Ladies' Night. So you can actually see my stand-up. But you do have to deal with my rambling in between each joke as of now. So check that out on YouTube. That is youtube.com/intoxicated. Subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. If you're really loving the podcast, you can leave an Apple Podcasts rating or review. Hopefully a 5-star rating with a good review. Speaking of which, one came in recently and I'm going to read it on the show because if you review the podcast, you get a shout out. This is a new 5-star review that says, so many hilarious and insights from so many of my favorite maritime funny people and so many other interesting humans I would have never otherwise been exposed to. One of my absolute favorite comedy podcasts, bar none. Oh yeah, that's an awesome review. So thank you to whoever left that review. The username is @thisisevan. I know a couple Evans. I'm not sure which Evan you are. But regardless, you're a very important Evan because you left an awesome review for my podcast and I super duper appreciate it. Honestly, guys, I think that's about it. Buckle in for this Rogan length episode with Thomas Kennedy. Love how we start the episode with Albert. It's the best. Not Tom. Thomas.
Thomas, I think, sounds more natural to me because that's my middle name. I still kind of hate it, and I think everybody hates it. Everyone talks a lot of shit.
Really?
Yeah.
But they have to understand it's for. At least you're not like making a stage name like
It's not
Coach
flashy.
Cowboy.
Third.
My friend Andrew Vaughn had a strict rule: no stage names. Like he's like I'm not doing that.
Do you think he would oppose to Tom?
No,
it's
because that's a normal name.
Yeah.
And that's also for obviously good reason.
Yeah.
You don't want it interfering with your work.
Yeah, I guess talking about dicks and drugs on stage is considered unprofessional in some circles.
There you go. That's perfect.
All right.
Yeah, keep him at like a fist. You want a fist between
I've always
you
seen
and Mikey.
Joe Rogan lecture guests, and I never thought it would be me
Aww.
being lectured about the face close to the mic the most.
I used to be really bad for it and not say anything when people were like, I had a drag queen on who was very intimidating and I loved her so much that I didn't want to say shit. And she was like back here. She's talking back here. I was just like, I'll just turn it all up in post. Because I can split these tracks and like, if I'm being really loud, as you can see, I'm very loud. Like my waveforms are huge. But like I can split these and turn them up in post. Like if someone's being really quiet.
Did it work for the drag queen?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just more time, right? It's just more editing.
Oh, well, come on. I can lean back and waste more of your time. No, that's okay. I'll play by the rules.
A fist lengths away. But, ooh, boy. I'm very excited for this episode. I'm very excited to be here today. This is the Intoxicated Podcast, by the way, if you don't know already. And I am here with Thomas Kennedy.
That's my name.
That
Allegedly.
is your name.
Yes. Formerly known as something else.
Something else that you don't need to know because this is a fresh start for you in terms of the listeners. They've never heard your voice on here before.
There you go.
So you are Thomas.
I am, yeah.
Yeah. But you
Kind
have
of.
Thomas Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just Thomas.
No, I'll keep my last name. Your
How
family
very
name.
feminist of you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Keep that last name. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's a dream come true.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
It was really weird. Like for a long time before coming here and doing stand up again post pandemic, I was actually listening. And then when I seen you in real life, I was like, oh, I got starstruck.
Do you know what's so funny? Okay, and I was wondering if I should mention this on the show or not. But there was a moment that you swung by a mic. We were all outside, and you said, "Oh, Sarah, hey, I listened to your podcast."
Yeah.
And I had this moment of, fuck, I don't know his name.
No
Am I
reason
supposed to know this person? I've never met this person before. And I had this moment of like, did I meet, like, is this someone I met at a mic?
No, believe it or not, you just made a fan.
And I was legitimately like, I think that's the first person I didn't know that, other than I was at a conference once and someone heard my voice and came up to me and said, your voice is familiar. You're on that Intoxicated podcast.
So you got recognized twice so far? Wow. That's an exclusive group.
And I think, was it before video? Yeah, I think this person just literally listened and recognized my voice. It had nothing to do with physical.
It's distinctive. Distinctive voice. That's a neutral.
Distinctive.
That's a neutral adjective. You cannot.
Distinctive is definitely more negative.
No,
than
it's not.
positive.
No, it's not. Ron Perlman has a distinctive voice.
That's true. Did I tell you that I might get to interview him?
No fucking way.
Well, okay. So last week I got an email to the entire. I don't know. I'll just fucking show you the email.
From Ron Perlman's
I got an
lady
email from
secretary?
a production company. And fuck, what was it? What was it called? He has a new movie coming out called like The Big Ugly or The Bad Ugly.
Is it being filmed in Nova Scotia or
No,
something?
it's already done.
Okay.
And they're doing promo for it. And they were essentially just like, let us know if you want us to set up an interview. And I don't know who with, But like they were like starring Ron Perlman. Like was
That's
one
a
of them.
fucking A-lister. What
Right?
the hell? You had the Trailer Park Boys guy last, and now a magician.
Well,
and
no,
then
I don't know if I'll do it. Like number one, like
You don't know if you'll interview Ron Perlman if you have the chance?
I don't fucking know much about him, or like this isn't a movie podcast.
Yeah. But that's such a crazy famous person.
I know, right? I can't fucking find it. I can't find the...
What a weird, like, a distinctive voice, and then that was the example.
It was probably literally like they searched keyword podcast, and like it was probably a mass email. Like I truly don't think that they actually like saw
We need
Intoxicated.
Sarah McClellan.
Yeah, like truly, like if they knew how big my listenership was, they would be like, this is a waste of everybody's time on this movie. Oh, here it is here, yeah. So, good afternoon. I'm a publicist with 4G Vision Film Production Company. I've been checking out your media content and would love to share this exciting news with you all about our film. In late July, we released our feature film, $6 million budget, The Big Ugly, starring Vinnie Jones, Ron Perlman, Malcolm McDowell, Nicholas Braun, and many more. This action-packed film is ready for summer amidst these eccentric times. We are reaching out today to graciously ask you to watch the trailer to our film, link below. And if you see fit, I believe you will, very confident, we would welcome the opportunity to discuss setting up an interview. I feel like writing back, I will do it if it's Ron Perlman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even really
do
know
it for
him that well. I don't know who this person is.
I don't know what movies. He voices the intro to the Fallout games. And I think he was in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
He's pretty big.
Well,
like,
so,
I don't know how many people would be like, I exclusively follow what Ron Perlman says in interviews. And,
that's the thing. Like,
and then you'll get a bunch of subscribers all of a sudden.
Well, my friend Corey runs Intoxicated Reviews, which is movie and TV based. And he would be a better fit for it. So, like, if I did do it, I'd probably do it with Corey, who's, like, a huge movie fan.
So it's got the Intoxicated name on it, but it's not...
It's all the bad movies.
Bad movies. Mm-hmm. But it's not you doing it at all? Mm-mm. Oh, okay. Just
I used to. So at the start of the show...
Name.
At the start of the show, we were watching the show called The Leftovers. And I was very much so in love with it. And I had this idea. I was like, we should start, like a little reviews feed. Like, it's a separate feed, so you need to subscribe separately to Intoxicated Reviews. But like review TV that we're watching or like movies that we've watched. Mm-hmm. And I started doing that for a bit, and then I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing 2 podcasts, this is too much work.
That sounds
My
insane.
friend Corey took it over. So I like to say like I'm its birth parent, but it's
okay.
Corey adopted it.
You're related then.
Yeah. Well, oh, very much so. It's like the brother. It's like Intoxicated's younger brother.
Do they also get drunk?
Oh yeah, more than I do.
Yeah,
I would say.
I bet that would.
He's a bartender, so.
And they're all alcoholics.
Mm-hmm.
Are they?
Oh my God, we got to talk about what we're drinking. Mm-hmm. So Thomas, you are a big Caesar fan, and this was kind of your suggestion. So we were talking today about having some drinks after bailing on an open mic.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
I mean,
fuck it. It's every week.
Yeah.
Missing 1 week isn't a big deal.
Yeah, we pussed out.
We pussed out. That's the honest way of saying it.
And the reason I would have went and watched, but I didn't want people to know I pussed out. But here we are.
And you were gonna go still watch because you thought I wanted to go, and then I had to be the one to be like, I'm not feeling it tonight. I'd rather just hang out and podcast. But also, like, I just woke up and we were talking about this earlier. I woke up in like oh, by the way, Caesars. Yeah, we're drinking Caesars. So that's made by Thomas.
The long and short of it.
Yeah.
I didn't make it. Well, it's at a can.
It's a very leafy Caesar. Can we cheers? We gotta cheers.
I already drank half of it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Just put celery in it that we're probably not going to eat because it would be really annoying. So it just hits us in the face every time.
I love a Caesar. It just really, like, it has so much... It wakes you up, I find, with a Caesar. Like, that spice, it just, like...
I like spicy things. It's really weird that you can have an alcoholic spicy thing. I guess Fireballs was the other option.
Oh, I have Fireball, by the way.
Ew.
If we do want to do shots.
No.
That is one shot I will do. Fireball.
I'd rather vodka, I think.
Really? A vodka shot? Fuck that.
Well, I got alcoholics in my blood.
Oh, fair.
So I can drink straight liquor like without problem.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, I have a weak stomach and I'll throw up. So
Oh, no.
if it wasn't for that, I would be an alcoholic easily.
I'm such a bad drinker too for puking.
I think
my
I know my limits.
God.
I think I know my limits now, but it took me a while to figure it out.
So over quarantine, so I didn't drink for a long time over quarantine. And I specifically didn't drink when my friend died because I was like, I have a rule.
Could be a spiral.
My rule is, because I've had issues with drinking in the past. Like I've had to go to an AA meeting, not because I was an alcoholic, but I was definitely destructive with alcohol.
How much of it was by yourself versus at places with people at places?
Like you mean like the actual drinking? I actually rarely drink alone. But my issue is that I would drink and I would just become a total nightmare. Like absolute bitch. Like
That's
I would piss my
unfortunate.
friends off. Like I would end up crying every time. Like it was just bad. Like it was not good. And really what going to AA taught me was like, I do not want to use booze as a crutch. And the only time that I will drink is to feel even better, not to feel better. So if I'm ever in a really bad place, I cannot be like, I'm just going to drink and that'll solve the issue, because it won't.
Yeah.
So like if I'm celebrating, yeah, let's fucking drink.
Uh-huh.
I guess
But
today's
not as-
kind of that exception, because I was in a bad mood today and I'm very much so looking forward to this. But generally speaking, if I'm in a bad, dark place, I'd rather stay away from alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be used like that, I guess. That's a tough one if you have a problem with alcohol, because it's just so readily available and it's the most accepted drug that everybody's doing all the time.
And it's so part of Halifax culture in general, maritime culture.
Yeah, especially. We like our booze and weed.
Yeah, that's true. We do also. And weed, that's different. Like weed doesn't really make me a nightmare. Booze does though. Rum specifically. If I drink rum, I will be angry. Like I will just be mad at everything.
I've heard that.
But over quarantine, going back to this getting sick while drinking, I decided to just have this night that I would finally get drunk after all this shit happened. And I got drunk over Zoom with people. And I had cocktails delivered to my place from Metal Spoon, which were like, I don't know, $30 each for like a big bottle of cocktails. And they were like different kinds of booze, which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And
that fucks
I puked more than I ever have in my entire life. I'm literally 33 years old. And I was like, ah! Like it was so bad.
During the night or hungover?
During the night.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always in the night for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've never puked hungover.
Yeah.
I'm always what happens with me is when I'm drunk, I'll be fine. As soon as I get home and I lay down, I will get sick.
Yeah.
I will
then
get
you
the
get
spins.
the spins, you close your eyes. I can't resist smoking weed either, and that fucking does it. When you're drunk, and then you get high, that fucks you. But
does it ever?
Yeah, I would always, I used to throw up all the time. Not so much anymore. I think I know where the line is now.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I feel like my limit is anything above 5 drinks. It's all bets are off. Like.
Oh really?
Yeah, 5.
Probably.
I'm a lightweight.
I would probably say like 8 to 12 is pushing it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like most guys.
Which is actually kind of normal now. I always thought myself as a lightweight, but that's not that weird.
8's like a lot of drinks.
Kinda, yeah.
Like if I think about 8 drunk me, I'm like, ooh.
Maybe I just did it stupidly in my youth. The first time I actually had like hard liquor, like I've had beers and stuff in garages and like nothing major. But then I went to Europe and we were on a Europe trip in high school and I had a girlfriend there and everything on Europe trips is just heightened because it's the movie of the boring sitcom of your regular high school life. So everything's dramatic and there's fucking relationships that start and end. We had like a breakup at one point and then got back together before returning home. Like,
holy shit!
It was just
Jesus Christ.
It was stupid. And we broke up and then a bunch of guys who I wasn't even like friends with, but during the thing there were only other male companions, so we're like best friends just because of the situation. And they're like, "Oh fuck her, man!" And we were in Venice, and we were 16, and you can just walk into a grocery store and get a bottle of vodka. And I just got a quart of vodka.
Jesus Christ!
I just walked so easily. And the chaperones, like, they talked a big talk, but they never did shit. People were like escaping out of windows and like going around the town. Like I felt bad for the entire floor we were on. Everybody was fucking nuts every night.
Oh my god.
Super loud and just running around and shit. Like we were children. And so this is the first time I ever drank hard liquor, and I just start like chugging this core of vodka, and like then people were like, holy shit, Mike. Like they were impressed because I didn't make a face and I didn't mind it at all. So I probably just chugged like 6 whole drinks, and like it's just such a classic like stupid. You don't have like you could really, if you don't know anything about alcohol and you can just go purchase hard liquor, like you could kill yourself if you really.
Yeah, that's too young.
Yeah.
Far too young.
And I just threw up all over my open suitcase, so all my clothes, and then so then.
Why was there nowhere else to put the puke?
Because my open suitcase was just sitting in front of me, and.
But I'm really good. I feel like I have good puke foresight.
I didn't that time. It just
But
hit me like a truck.
sometimes it really happens very fast.
Because the way I drank it was very fast. I was just
Yeah.
And the person who like took care of me was the girlfriend I broke up with. Her best friend like ditched her to take care of me.
That's wild.
And
I feel like with me with puke, it's always a smell. I'll smell something gross, and it triggers
compost or something.
It'll trigger my like puking.
Oh, the smell of puke does it. It's
oh
like,
God, does it ever?
But that's like an evolution thing with compost and other people's puke. If you smell someone's puke, that means the food that could have been the same food you ate is bad, and they're puking. So your brain goes, "Oh, I should puke too because there's probably a bug in whatever we ate."
Really?
Yeah,
That's why. That's interesting.
yeah, and probably compost a similar reason.
Compost. I kind of like the
Because it's
smell
like
of compost.
that's fucking absurd.
Well, I'm thinking. Well, I guess maybe not all compost. Like I guess
like fresh compost, like nothing.
Yeah.
Not when it's too ripe, but
Yeah,
right
yeah,
before
yeah.
the banana turns yellow,
Oh, gross.
or like black in the case of compost.
This is what a weird way to start this episode. Where's the weirdest place that you've puked?
Probably. I guess it's not that weird, but it just stood out to me as prom night. I went to open a Burger King door, and it was locked. And see, I didn't have puke foresight here either. I had no idea it was even like in the chamber. And just when I pulled on the door and it didn't pull, I was like, ugh. Just as soon as the resistance was felt, it just unlocked my stomach sphincter. Yeah, it was so unexpected, and it was just some poor fucking minimum wage person had to clean up my puke like the next morning.
One time I puked in my dorm room in university because I couldn't quite make it to the bathroom, which was shared with the whole floor. So I think I had this moment of like, I think I'm gonna just puke in here and not have no one else hear me. And it was after drinking a lot of beer and garlic fingers. So like it was the worst smelling puke you could ever smell.
Beer and garlic fingers, you think makes it the worst?
Yeah, pretty bad. Wine pukes are pretty bad too. The worst pukes for me, when I was starting drinking, I used to drink a lot of vodka and lime juice at bars. I would just be like, vodka lime, at this place called The Dome, which no longer, well, actually, no, The Dome exists. The Dome does exist.
They're doing something with it.
Yeah. But back in the day, they had dollar drinks.
That's fucking insane.
2007. Yeah.
How long? So
dollar drinks.
So is that when it ended?
I think it only lasted a couple of years. And then they
yeah,
were like,
probably
because
because too many people were getting stabbed and fucked up and
yeah, like it was like I had a friend once who went out on dollar drinks, and I spent close to $100 and drank a lot.
Okay, so 100 drinks,
something like that.
That doesn't even probably it would
probably
be,
bought some friends
like
some drinks, because back then you could be like,
tax.
Here, I'll buy you 5 drinks.
You can't order,
and it's the cost of 1 drink.
You can't order 5 drinks anymore for one person?
Well, I mean, it's not as cheap, right? Like,
yeah,
I could buy someone a drink, but like dollar drinks, it's like, I'll buy you 5.
Robbie and I and Joel and some other people, and I hope they're not mad that I didn't name them because I can't remember. Oh, Dan, Joel's roommate. We like went to Boomers, and it was like $3 drinks, and
What was the experience at the bar like in terms of the COVID?
It was fucking weird. It was like, but I've never been like a go to bar person. I don't even know what the normal experience is, but it was definitely weird because it was just a bunch of tables and we had like a lot of people. So it was like a banquet table. And most of them I couldn't hear at all. I could hear the guy right next to me, like a buddy Robbie ran into. It was his birthday, so that was fun. I could hear him, and I could hear the person across from me only because I could like read their lips, and then everybody else I couldn't hear it because the music was so loud. And guys' voices, I think, bassy voices.
Yeah.
It just like blends into the like the bass in music.
It does.
So I couldn't hear anything.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's just me being a mom that can't stand bars. So you had to stay with who you came with. Like, I guess maybe you could go join a table, but all the tables were full.
But there was no one dancing.
No.
That's so weird.
They were so strict, and to a point, like, it didn't really make sense. Like,
yeah.
I was, like, so I could stand up, put a mask on, and go to the bathroom with my mask on.
Yeah.
But I wanted to order a drink from the waitress on the way. But that's no-go because if you're sitting, you can't give someone COVID. So I had to go sit down and take my mask off. So I could sit down and take my mask off and be like inches from her face, like
spitting.
Yeah, on her mask and her eyes. And
that is.
It'd be safer if I did it standing in front of her with a mask.
Yeah, that's really weird.
And if you want to talk about social distancing, turn the fucking music down.
Yeah, really.
Because you got to be in someone's ear to talk to them.
Yeah, for real though. Yeah. Why, if people aren't allowed to dance, why is the music so fucking loud?
Crystal F asked if we had any questions for the premier standing down, and nobody thought of anything potent or real. Just
no.
But like, what a big! I think he might have been a little serious, and we all just fucking blew it. Like, that's such a cool.
When last night he wanted questions.
Yeah. Any questions? But there's one. I could have aired those grievances about my boomers experience.
For the longest time, well, I guess before everything opened up, I just kept telling Chris, can they let us know when we can fuck? Like, casual sex? Like.
Is that illegal right now?
No, you can.
Okay. So you want to know when is it not going to be frowned upon?
But back, like,
I don't think the government's the ones who decide that.
But back when, like, the bubble thing, especially when it was immediate family only, like, there was a lot of people breaking quarantine to go bang, like, casual sex partners, and that was very frowned upon.
Yeah.
But if you had a girlfriend that you didn't live with, you could go fuck.
You couldn't, yeah?
So it's very judgy against
single people.
Casual sex singles who
that is
also want
like
to fuck.
If the girl, I thought like, oh, if you have a girlfriend, if you live with them, but yeah, I guess it would make no difference,
right? Like, what fucking couple actually didn't fuck for 4 months?
They're worried,
that didn't live together.
Maybe they're worried that people who are having casual sex might be having casual sex with more than one person.
Oh well, that's a fair.
But then that's also weird and a crazy minefield to navigate. Like, oh. No polyamorous couples, no open relationships. We need committed. Like, all of a sudden, we're getting virtuous and puritanical.
Yeah, very, very weird. But it is what it is, I guess. In my case,
they're gonna come up with whatever rules they think, and I think whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking complaining about it, like.
We're good now. We're at a good spot now in terms of. I mean, other than having to wear masks to the bathroom.
I don't really care about that. That's such a minor thing.
Yeah, really though. Yeah. How was your well, let's fucking get to know you a bit. So you're from Cape Breton, right? Mm-hmm. Originally?
Sydney.
Born and raised there?
Yeah.
Okay. And you've lived there for most of your life, or?
Yeah, even I don't know the timeline very well, but too much of that shit. Until probably 21, like I was going to school, and then that would end in September, or April to September. So that's like a good like 4 or 5 months, and I came and lived here in Halifax with my girlfriend and her mom. So we were dating long distance. So I just come and leave, and then I just moved here probably I've been in my apartment building for a year, but I've been here because I was at her mom's place for probably longer than that, closer to 2 years.
Right. Okay.
Which,
so
probably
you're
got
fairly
some of
new in Halifax.
Yeah.
Fairly new here. And do you like the city? Do you like it better than the country?
I mean, yeah, I a lot.
Yeah.
And then that girl who I moved here with when we broke up recently, people would be like, "Oh, so you're gonna come to Cape Breton?" And I was like, "No, you think that's why I left?" No,
Yeah.
I it's still like it's mostly gone, but there's still a little bit of like wide-eyed. It's a city. It's
Yeah.
fun. So like every day that I have off, I just walk around downtown all day. I just never get bored of just walking around.
Me too. I love walks.
And it feels less lonely. Just seeing strangers, just seeing strangers having their day like makes me happy. Especially like if I see like a family or something and like a happy kid.
You know what's one of my favorite things to do? I've started doing this specifically when I travel. For the longest time when I would go on trips with friends, I would never do things on my own because I felt like I always had to be with my friends. But I started gradually being like, well, I want to go see this. I want to go see the Tulum ruins. And you guys don't want to, but I'm just going to go do
Where's
that.
that?
In Mexico.
Oh, okay.
The Mayan ruins.
Yeah, and were you kind of hoping they weren't going to want to tag along?
No, like I'm a people person. I love, for the longest time, wouldn't go to movies alone, wouldn't go to restaurants alone, wouldn't go to concerts alone for the longest time. But I've reached a point where I'm like, I still want to do these things, and like it's not my fault all my friends are introverts and don't want to do shit, so I'm still going to go do those things.
Oh, because that seems like a really introverted thing to do, is to go out and do shit by yourself. But you were doing it because you're an extrovert who just had introvert friends.
That's right.
That's weird.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I have so many introvert friends.
I would have went out to do those things with you if I could have been by myself. So if you could leave and be there at the same time, then that'd be great. I could just live stream it to you.
But one of my favorite things to do is when you're traveling to go to touristy spots is to offer to take pictures for people. Like when you see a couple together that are like taking a selfie or a family that's taking. One of my favorite things to do is be like, do you guys want a picture? I just fucking love that.
I
so
do.
much.
I've been really liking interactions with strangers.
Aww.
It is fun. I used to really hate barking, but I barked the other week for Daily Grind, and I did it for like a long time.
Did you really?
I kind of enjoyed it a bit, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of people, most people, like, because it's also like you're doing a little study. Like you can start to like classify people, and just predicting like how they're gonna.
Oh, for those who don't know what barking
people,
is, we should explain barking.
Sure. Yeah.
Barking is when you try to get people to come into comedy.
You just tell them that there's comedy.
Yeah, Tom is not.
I think I've heard of people doing that, but like so much of barking, it's like such a futile enterprise that like if I'm doing it with someone, most of it's like, let's see if I can make them laugh. Like I'll ask someone and then they'll ignore me, and then I'll like ask their dog on the leash. Like I'm just trying to. You gotta just make it funny.
I have an idea for a video.
Yeah.
So I have my Sarah Tries stand-up series that will be ending soon.
You want to document barking?
But I want to do Sarah Tries barking.
Yeah,
And what I want to do is actually find someone in the scene, let me know if you're up for it, to compete with me. And we'll take tallies of the people that we get and see who will win.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah? Okay, let's fucking do it.
I think maybe the barking experience I had was good because it was like the Daily Grind's in like a nice place.
It is. There's
and
lots of
people
foot
on a
traffic.
boardwalk, like it's a little, people get a little less weirded out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, I don't try to make them laugh really. I guess a little, sometimes if it's there, but like, I just try to seem as non-threatening as I possibly can, which...
I think with this barking competition, there are no rules as to what you do.
So I can flash my tits?
I already have some ideas as to what I might do. Mm-hmm. None of it involves sex work, just so everybody knows. They wouldn't pay anyway.
And then if they refuse your bark, you could be like, subscribe to my OnlyFans also.
But I really want to see. Because especially, I don't know, here in Halifax, I don't know if any females have ever barked. So I'm curious.
Your guess is that it's never happened? I would guess against that.
Who would do it?
I don't know. In the history of Halifax
Oh,
comedy?
not the history.
Oh, you mean right now?
For the times that I've been around the scene, I don't think I've ever seen a female outside of like Snegley's.
Yeah, but I've barely seen anybody bark.
Yeah, me neither.
It's super painful to do.
I didn't even know that was a thing for Daily Grind. Like I think I knew after the fact that people were doing that. Snigley's, I know that like Jim always does it for
Yeah, like
Snigley's and Economy.
there's like a deal or something, but like I just do it just to do it sometimes, and then so like if I'm like this sucks, I can just stop. I'm not obligated.
That
to.
is really good though, because that's what you
it's-
got to do
it
to
is-
get people in.
It's not like it's selfish. I just want a better crowd.
That's
Like,
right.
It makes it a lot better.
You're right, and I do too. So, Intoxicated listeners, why the fuck aren't you coming to shows? Come to.
Maybe they
Getting
only like
mad at them.
podcasts.
Like getting angry at them. Please don't be mad at me. I'm sorry.
There's got to be a bunch of people on the internet who are into podcasts, which are primarily comedians on them, but they don't give a fuck about stand-up.
That could very well be
I think that's
true.
a huge demographic.
I think that there are definitely, it's weird because for a long time I was like trying to find comedy fans, and then I realized that most of my listeners are just the comedians themselves. And I was like, I still want to find fans of comedy and get them out to see live comedy, because so many people just consume it in their, watching Comedy Central specials. Or
Yeah,
Netflix
and you might
specials.
laugh like 3 times. If a special gets like 5 laughs out of me, I'm like, that was a legendary special.
Right?
Yeah. But like at shows, like I'll laugh at far worse jokes more frequently.
That's right.
Because it's just the live experiences.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
And like seeing crowd work happen, seeing someone like Matt Baker talk to the crowd for like
Matt
5 straight
Baker
minutes
is like
amazing.
I want to say one of the best, to be nice to, but I think he's the best host.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, I haven't seen him a lot. Like, who did I see host Daily Grind? Joe, and I think that might be it. I don't know if I've been to that many Daily Grind
I've
shows.
seen Sam host. Sam was a really good host too. Sam and Joe, I think, are the only 2 who have done it so far. Other than
It was Matt's
Robbie and
room.
Matt.
He was doing it.
Yeah, Matt's
at the start primarily.
Yeah, Matt did the first one. Did he do last night too?
Yeah, he did last night. Yeah, he's a fucking great host.
Sarah, edit this.
I haven't seen a whole lot of co-hosts. Like I've seen once Sam and Emma on stage together.
Oh, so great. They're so wildly different, but the same at the same time. I don't even really. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't think I was paying attention, honestly.
Oh, really? Well, there was this really funny moment where they're both standing there kind of stiff.
Yeah,
like
it seems like an awkward thing to do.
And Emma was just like, "Can't you feel the chemistry radiating off of both of us?" And I died. I loved that so much.
Oh man, Emma's a killer.
I can't wait to talk to you. So I'm recording with Emma and Scott McLean at some point soon together.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Scott is definitely one of my favorite.
I love Scott.
My favorite guest. And
yeah,
I realized
great.
how much dick I've been sucking of just commenting this for the past 2 minutes. I'd like to say something bad about someone to even it out, but
we'll leave that to the end.
That's too spicy.
No, that's good though.
I'm not talking shit about anybody.
We got good people in this scene.
Yeah.
We got a lot of variety in this scene is the thing.
Yeah. There's not many people who are doing similar material. Everybody is very different.
Yeah, interesting. That's good.
Oh, you disagree. Maybe you have a more refined palate for stand-up than me.
Do you know what that was?
What
I did just there?
What?
That was me in my mind going, I feel like I have similar... Okay. Well, we'll just get into it. Like, I feel like with... One of my biggest fears doing stand-up was that people would think that my material was unoriginal.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be when you're just new. All of our material is probably unoriginal to some extent, and we just don't realize it because we're probably having parallel think with hundreds of other comedians.
That's
just
very
in
true.
bigger scenes.
Yeah.
And if we were in those bigger scenes, we would see those things pop up more frequently.
That's true.
And just, oh shit, that's hacky. I didn't even know. But you can get paralyzed by that fear of you write something and you're like, of course someone's thought of this. I should just fucking throw it out.
Right.
This is probably unoriginal. If it's not completely wacky and out there or super specific and personal, even personal stuff
even personal stuff, your spin on it is likely unoriginal.
Yeah.
And that's
every love song about breaking up or something, they're fucking hacky. So if you have bits about breaking up, you gotta be careful. It's such a common experience. Lots of people are gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are you
very
going to do?
true.
Just go consume every piece of stand-up comedy material that exists? Like, that's ridiculous.
You can't. There's no way of knowing.
I like when I was in the years of like writing stand-up before I finally got the balls to do it, like I had like a huge idea for a joke and I thought it was so good and perfect. Like basically the angle was like, oh, this is star signs. Remember I said at the end, try to guess what I am. And I think it might be easy because I think I've been told I like match it very well.
I already know what you are.
Did you look it up on
Yeah.
Facebook? Okay. Fuck you. Fuck you. I told you a thing. I wanted to disprove that bullshit. You're stupid. Because
If you think I'm not smart enough to have already creeped, every time I meet someone new friend, I'm like, what's your fucking star sign?
this is the test I do is like.
I have a lot of thoughts on your star sign, by the way.
Oh, dude.
Because I don't think you're at all. I
Really?
was not expecting that star sign.
See, that would have been perfect. If you didn't look it up, at the end you would have been like, I got you pegged, you're a fucking Virgo, or whatever they're like. See, this is the bit idea I had, and I think it's still good.
Me.
But I actually ended up finding like a pro UK comedian already covered it better than, of course, I ever would.
Shit.
But the whole thing is like that star sign thing. It's a prejudice
Yes.
based on something that you can't control.
Yeah.
And it's probably pseudoscience, which, you know, there's lots of like racists who use pseudoscience to justify discrimination based on something that they were born with and they can't control. So
It's astrology racism.
you're kind of a bigot. Sorry.
Well, you want to know what? I don't think I am. Cause
No. I mean, it's not as heavy as race or gender or orientation and shit.
Well,
But
I just want to say, number one, you have one of my favorite star signs actually in the
fuck
whole
yeah.
star sign. Like I'm a Pisces, and shocker.
I don't know anything about any other star sign.
But your birth chart, if you know what time you were born, you can find out a lot more about you. You have all kinds of different signs in your birth chart. Your rising sign is your outwards, how you appear outwards to people. If you think of a house, your rising sign would be like the exterior of the house. And I always thought,
What's that mean? What's a
like, how
rising
you-
sign?
it's like how you act.
Okay, so I could be like a Pisces, but I act like a Virgo, so
Right.
like I'm trans Virgo. That sounds like a good way to excuse any diversion from the script. Virgo, you're supposed to be like this. No, I might, but my rising sign is actually fucking Pisces
There's
or
a lot of,
whatever.
like, and then the moon is like how you handle your emotions. Like Jupiter is like the social aspect of you. So there's all these aspects of your personality, and you have different signs for those based on your chart. And I always thought, I'm a Pisces, but I also feel like I'm kind of an Aries.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I always want to be an Aries rising, and I was convinced that I was. Like, I was just like, I bet you I have so much Aries in my chart. I probably have a lot of Scorpio, too.
So
I'm a fiery person.
Okay.
And then I found out
Aries
that
are fiery?
don't. I think Aries is fire.
Just like gets in confrontational and shit. Because that's not me at all.
So, okay. So, one of my best friends is an Aries, and she described Aries perfectly. She said, when we're good, we're amazing. When we're bad, we're awful.
In what way?
Like, when you're good, like, when you are in a good mood, you are probably, like, the most fun to hang out with. Like, life of the party, social, like, very fun person. But when you're in a bad mood, you're probably a shit show of a person. Is that accurate?
No, I don't think I'm a
No?
shit show.
See, that's the thing.
If
When
I'm
I
in a
found
bad
it-
mood, I'm
when-
probably just going to be quiet.
When I found that out about you, I was like, oh, that's kind of shocking. Because I feel like you're very even-keeled.
Yeah.
An even-keeled person. Like, I can't see you freaking out at anybody.
No, I'm pretty happy to see so far that, yeah, I definitely don't get in conflicts with people, but it's almost too much. Like, I'm not probably assertive enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like it's not that like I'm not getting into conflicts because I'm so noble. It's because I'm afraid of them and I'll probably fuck it up and I just don't even want to bother. And also, I can't even think of examples of times when I should have started a conflict with anybody. It's not so much like this is who I am because of this is how I react. I haven't had the stimulus, the situation. I don't know. I just feel like I know I'm young, but like I feel like not a lot has happened in the 23 years, even for a 23-year-old. Like I kind of
You're
had
a
a
new
bland
soul.
existence.
You're a new soul.
What is what's
Would
that?
you? Do you know what new soul, old
No,
soul is?
no.
So like,
I heard of old soul, like you're supposedly act older than you are or something.
well, let's see if Google can say it better than me.
Well, if there's gonna be dead air, I'm gonna eat celery.
See. Like an old soul is like somebody who, okay, I will give you examples with comedians in this scene. Oh, I have the perfect example of a new soul versus an old soul.
Okay.
Emma Mater's an old soul. Like
I don't know her enough.
she's very
Don't know what that
mature.
means.
She's lived a lot of life experience. She's very smart. She is still, obviously she's a young woman, so there's still aspects of her personality that reflect that.
But she's had more life experience as opposed to me, who I'm just a naive kid.
A new soul would be Mitch.
Yeah. Well, he's literally the youngest
Mitch, I'm
one.
so sorry. I hope you don't take that as an insult. But Mitch also like has admitted to saying like he has toddler energy. Like he's just someone who
he has teenager.
enjoys life. Like he just kind of dives in. And like, but like with Emma,
Toddler's too
that
far
like,
back. I think he has teenager energy.
but with Emma, like there's so much going on. I don't know. She's an old soul.
I'm still like I haven't actually like hung out with Emma. It's just been like she's the authority figure who has the mic that I want to get on, and I really respect her stand up. Like she's holy shit.
I have so much.
Fucking ladies' night blew my mind.
know.
And so like I've only had brief interactions with her, so I'm still like scared of her in the way of like I don't want to. I don't want her to not like me. I don't want to say something stupid.
I've known her longer than you, and I would agree with all those things because I
should be scared of her.
No, not that you should be scared, but I understand the respecting someone so much that you want to make a good impression.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way with Emma. Like when I did the mic with her and Sam, when I didn't do the best, like I walked away going, I don't really give a shit about the audience, but I just really wanted to impress Emma and Sam. Like I literally felt so like, because these people are also my friends. And I've gotten to know them over the years, so it's like this weird like I want to impress them as a friend, but also as comics in the scene.
I mean,
thing.
it's not gonna like. If you have a bad set your first time, that's so meaningless. Like that it says nothing about your trajectory in doing it.
It's true.
Like it seemed like the theme in those videos of your like preparing to do stand was everybody saying like, oh, it doesn't matter, like stop, because they know like your first set is like a tiny little bump, like, and it's just such an insignificant thing.
It's so true. It's so true.
And did you get like postpartum depression? Like, did it feel anticlimactic?
So that's interesting that you say that. So ladies' night was a Tuesday, and then that Thursday I tried to go up at Daily Grind, and I didn't get on, and then I didn't go up again until the Wednesday after. Yeah, because it was ladies' night.
Oh, the Daily Grind I was at.
Yeah, it was late. I did Daily Grind.
So we're not even. I'm ahead of you. Even before the Daily Grind last night. Because I did a District 5 set when you didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a competition.
Are you doing Oasis on Tuesday?
No. Okay. I don't have any booked sets left.
I have Oasis and then that's it.
I need to get on asking people. I'm trying to get a weekend off so I can do shows in Cape Breton, but it might not happen.
So my sets went, I did Daily Grind, I did Ladies Night, and then I did Daily Grind again. And then I did District 5, and that was the one that was the weakest, number 4. And then number 5 was Economy Shoe Shop this past Sunday. So
Ladies Night
was the best.
Probably was the best, yeah.
But again, that's a psychological fuck for me, because when I started, everyone's like, do your first set as Ladies Night because it's the easiest crowd, and if you do good on Ladies Night, everyone don't take it as a big compliment because everyone does good on Ladies Night.
That's not true.
That's what people told me.
That's not like when I seen it was a regular show, because it's like there's still just as much variance in skill levels if you have a group of all women or if you have a group of mostly guys and one woman. Like comics are comics, and
that's
it's
so hard.
There's people who did better than others, and like
What did you think overall about Ladies Night? Like,
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really enjoyed it, eh?
Yeah.
it was a weird psychological thing for me because Ladies' Night was amazing. I have this set recorded. Like I was very happy with it. And you can see in part 3 that I'm releasing soon, I was just so happy. And then I haven't been so happy since then.
Yeah,
that's
that's what it is though. Like you have a really good set and it's like you feel like a hero for a night and then you have a bad set next time and then you have an identity crisis.
Actually, I hate fucking saying this because I know I'm going to get eye rolls, but I don't feel like any of my sets have been bad. It's just one was really not as strong as the others.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a set that I've done yet where I haven't gotten at least like one.
No, and like some people have like different definitions of what a bomb is, and I don't know where I'd put that, but like I would say Last Night was a bomb, but I've heard a different a bomb is like nothing.
Yeah,
nothing at all.
Yeah.
But that rarely ever happens. Or like if you were doing it for money and then maybe you didn't get nothing, but you obviously didn't earn that money. Like that's a bomb.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I think people do have different definitions of that. And for me, like I've definitely had jokes that didn't get anything.
Yeah, you can have an individual joke bombs. But
I haven't had a set yet where no noise has been made. Like
yeah, no, and like, that I've had that happen like once, and I deserved it.
Right. Yeah, I think if there's more silence than laughter, that could be like a bomb.
You might consider that, yeah, and a looser definition
of a bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you got say you did 5 to 7. And let's say you did, like, I'll just go by my set list, which is I have, like, 10 to 11 jokes. Like, let's say only 3 or 4 of those got laughs. That might be a bomb in my mind.
If I had that, I'd probably call it a bomb, too. Yeah.
It's kind of like a test, like a pass-fail.
Yeah. Like, if you get 30%, it's like, well, technically you didn't bomb because you didn't lose anybody money. It's like, okay, sure. It's like it's all semantics. Some people like you're not a comic until you're making a living on it. And it's like, okay, so what do you call these people who are doing open mics? Like we have 4 people tonight on this show. 4 people come see our people. They tell jokes. Are joke people. Like no, just they're comics. Whatever.
That's also a question I've asked a lot of people on the podcast, and I've realized that a lot of comics, no matter how experienced they are, don't feel comfortable calling themselves a comedian, which is very interesting. But in terms of like,
I would say amateur comedian, maybe
amateur. Yeah. That
I wouldn't be like, hello, amateur. I'm a comedian. That would be misleading.
Pro comic. Yeah, no, I wouldn't even I don't even know when I would call myself that, which is weird because people were calling me a comic before I even did stand up.
Yeah, that's a little silly.
So because people just assumed, like they would just see me around, like at the back of the room, and like they just assumed.
How often did people think you were someone's girlfriend?
Not.
I think I hit some kind of nerve there.
This is gonna make me spiral. Never. They've never thought that. Thanks for asking, Thomas.
I've heard female comics have that problem. I just whoopsie.
I really want to make that into a bit now. Like I've hung around so many comics and I've liked so many comics. But even though I've never done comedy, I don't even get recognized.
A lot of female comics have that you could launch into it like, I'm about to make a women's rights issue. A lot of female comics, people assume that we're somebody's girlfriend, but not me. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of really like that. Like people have never assumed I was a girlfriend, but they always thought I was another comic.
Yeah.
What does that say
about me?
I
look like a comedian to you? Yeah. That's insulting.
I kind of like that.
What, is nobody going to ask if I blew someone to get on here? No. I mean, I would tell you to fuck off if you did, but I mean.
I love that. And that reminds me of something that you kind of inspired. You're kind of inspiring a new bit of mine, which is the bit that I'm doing about the positive side of like toxic masculinity, which I'm working on. It's not ready yet, but like it's one of those newer jokes that I'm like, I think it has like legs.
Just having an unusual stance on something can can elevate it a bit.
Yeah, I
like
would
you
agree.
you get focused on like, okay, there's the setup where it's not funny and then the punchline when it's funny, but there's like 3 components. It's like there's the premise, like what the point is, And sometimes it doesn't have to have a premise. Sometimes one-liner jokes are so short.
Yeah.
They kind of, but technically maybe, I don't know, but there's a premise and there's your point of view, like your attitude towards the situation, and then there's the punchline and like and tags and shit.
I love that.
But like I don't take my own advice on this because I rarely go to think like what's my point of view in this bit, but like that's something that really helps because that's where it's all kind of about emotion.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And that was one thing.
They need to know what your emotion is in the bit.
And like you and I both have this in common. We kind of lean towards comedy that is more personal. Mm-hmm. And like you had a good point about, was it you who told me that when you bomb with when you have a personal style comedy, when you bomb it's way worse because it's so much more.
I think it.
Or no,
you were the one.
You were the one who said that it's still cathartic when you.
Yeah, it can go.
It
can kind of go both ways. Like I've kind of told you conflicting messages.
I know. Okay, I just want to say to you, I loved the message that you sent me a couple mornings ago with feedback.
Yeah.
Because when I saw the first couple lines, my stomach dropped.
Why?
Because I was just like, I don't know if he's judged. Because you were talking about my self-deprecation, right?
Yeah.
And that's definitely an area of insecurity for me because I'm like, I want the self-deprecation to be funny. Like, it needs to be funny, sad, not sad, funny.
Yeah,
know?
I think
like
a lot of the time, sometimes feel people if it's not done like tactfully, the audience will feel guilty to laugh. Like,
that's right.
It's mean.
That's
they don't
right.
If they laugh really loud at some self-deprecating jokes, like people would look at them like you're an asshole.
Yeah, and that's definitely a concern of mine. And I've been hanging around comics for so long, like I've been talking about comedy for so long that I'm at a point now where I'm like, I just want feedback of all kinds about everything that I'm doing. Like, I truly don't care because I
completely nerd out.
I take feedback as a gift.
Yeah.
Honestly, especially from people who get me. Now, if it's someone who doesn't get me, that's a little different.
It's uncomfortable. If someone gives you feedback that you don't agree with, it's like, it's kind of awkward. Like, you really go out on a limb giving someone advice.
Yeah.
It's a little egotistical to be like, I think I know what your problem is. Here you go.
Yeah.
It could come off the wrong way.
My defenses go up when I feel like someone's trying to change me.
Yeah, you should be more like this. It would be good for your image.
And so when you sent me that message, my stomach dropped because I was like, is he trying to tell me that that what I'm doing isn't entertaining?
You shouldn't be self-deprecating?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
And
no.
that was the thing. You actually gave me some like legitimate advice, which is like flipping points of view to kind of make it a positive spin on something.
Yeah, that's just
self-deprecating.
That's something I read in the. It's just like, it's kind of like I think it's Judy Carter. I think it's just called the Stand-Up book or something. It's from the 80s. Like, it's kind of corny, a lot of it, but like it's really good when you're brand new because it would like it'll get you. It's a little head start because like you look at it because I didn't fully take advantage of it. But then, like, you look at it later and it's like, oh, yeah, that took me, like, a long time to figure out, but it was just right here if I would have just paid attention to this.
And that's my thing. Like, that's why I love getting advice from people, specifically people who know what I'm going for with a joke, but they see, like, how it could be better.
Yeah.
You know, they see, like, the little weak points of it, where it's like, like, I get what you were doing, but, and Albert, shout out to Albert Coombs, he reached out with some feedback as well, just a slight wording change, very, very slight, that would make it hit a bit better with my firefighter joke, with the chlamydia. The chlamydia part of the firefighter joke has been, like, my most successful, like, joke punchline so far.
That's
but
a
he's
good
like,
one.
this might make it even better. And I was like, okay, sweet. I'm gonna
That'd be something I would have no guilt taking if it was just like, switch these words, cut this one.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
Slight
like,
wording.
okay, that was just an efficiency tip. Like,
exactly.
You didn't come up with the whole meat and potatoes of where they're laughing at.
You built everything. They just replaced the.
They put the wiring through a better hole in the wall.
That's right. So how did you get into stand-up? So Cape Breton boy, country boy.
That's not true at all.
Country
That's not true at
boy.
all. I lived on a normal street. I avoided people most times.
Wait, you didn't live in a bar? No, I'm just shitting on you. A normal street. What does a normal street look
It's just
like?
a road. I don't know.
With other houses
I
nearby?
didn't spend enough time with the crazy people who live in Cape Breton to become one of them.
Oh, that's good. Well, see, I asked.
I just had a close group knit of friends, so it's like, I don't know. I'm just influenced by these people. It's not like I'm fit the culture. I didn't ever join like the nightlife of Cape Breton and see like the fights or whatever shit they got up to. I was just like playing video games or like skateboarding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I asked because I'm from Antigonish, so I feel like our small towns might be kind of similar.
Maybe.
In terms of
similar population.
population.
I mean, Sydney's bigger. It is the second biggest population center outside of Halifax. Just so you know.
Well, la di da.
Yeah.
So how did you? What spurred your love for like stand up and like? What spurred your love for stand up, but also what made you actually want to get up and do it? This is what I'm always fascinated about, like the decision to get up and do it.
Well, I think probably, I know it's controversial. I don't even want to get into it now, but Louis C.K., the 2008 special Chewed Up, I watched that when I was like way too young. Like I didn't get most of it. And I was like completely enamored by it. And other than that, all I was exposed to is the Just for Laughs gags, like not gags, but Just for Laughs, the sets that they just from the early 2000s that would just play over and over and over and over, and you just see the same thing. And then like Louis C.K. seeing that special is like, holy shit, it was so amazing just because it was the first like real, not to shit on like Just for Laughs, but it was like TV friendly, and I've seen it a million times, kind of old, but that was like so fresh. And then like the more I grew up with it, I was like just kind of like a Louis C.K. fan instead of a comedy fan, and then later a comedy fan. And I've just always said to myself growing up, like, of course I'm never going to do stand-up, but I think the greatest job in the world would be a stand-up comedian who just never bombs. And I was like, I'm not going to do it because I would bomb, so I'm not doing it. I'm not willing to do that. It's not worth it.
That's so cute and optimistic.
That's pessimistic.
To think that your heroes have never bombed.
No, I know that they've bombed.
Yeah.
I just was not willing to pay that price to get there.
Right.
I was like completely closed off to it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So and I think I'm just gonna Freudian psychoanalyze myself.
No, I love that.
This is my theory. So this is what I'm gonna say in a therapy office as soon as I go. So my sister died when I was 5.
Oh my goodness.
And that's like a very weird time developmentally and stuff. Like
older sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was 14.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know. I hate telling people because I don't know how to react when they say that they're sorry. You didn't kill her, did you? Did you give her cancer?
Fuck you.
You were around then. You had access to cigarettes that you could blow in her face as a baby.
Oh my god. Still, that's so fucking young.
Yeah, it is. It's fucked up.
I think the thing is with that is like, you still like, I still can't comprehend someone getting cancer that young and dying that young. Like,
yeah, it's
truly.
just sometimes life says fuck you. So it did, and I mean, I don't know. There's like, you could be like, oh, why me? Why this family? Like, but like, why anybody else?
Why? Yeah.
Yeah, fucking kids are getting bombs dropped on their head. Like,
right.
Why should I have a perfect life? But anyway, when that happened, I think developmentally as a kid, like I couldn't comprehend it or something. I don't ever remember being very upset. I've always felt like everybody's reacting to me like I should be fucked up or something.
Right.
And I was just kind of like a happy kid regardless.
Did you? So 5? Yeah, 5 is so fucking young. So did you have? I hate asking this question, but do you have like a lot of memories of her?
Not really. Barely
no, 'cause that's
any.
so young.
It is, yeah. And I think what happened was when I was that young, I could pick up on the tension in the household and everything, and just my little 5-year-old brain to deal with it was just to be like goofy and silly all the time. Right. So I think that made me develop a sense of humor, and then I just remember only liking comedies and shit growing up. I was, but later, and then I got really into movies, and I liked other kinds of genres and stuff. But I remember as a kid thinking, like, I was 14, I was like, why do I only like comedy movies? It's literally all I like.
So cute.
And so it was like in school I was always distracting kids. Like, not a class clown. Like I wouldn't like try to kill in class. I just try to kill with like the people around me.
Right.
And I would distract the shit out of them. Like
my God.
I'm pretty sure I have like ADD, but like I would get good grades, but then I would fuck other people's grades up.
Oh my God. How would you distract them in class? Like, what do you mean?
I just wouldn't shut up. Like I would
Were
just
you the kid to
constantly
write
be...
boobies on a calculator and
Yeah, I remember once writing a fucking shit on your head, and I gave it to a girl, and the teacher found it, and I was.
That's the stupidest thing ever.
It's so meaningless.
Oh my God.
But it killed with her. She laughed really hard, but the teacher found it, and I was so young that like her reaction was like, "Wow, well at least you spelled it right." Like it was good spelling, but you're in trouble.
Fucking shit on your head.
It was just everything I knew. I laid it out on the table.
Oh my God. That's
The only words that aren't swear is "your" and
I
"head."
loved passing notes in school. That was like such a fun thing to do.
It was pretty exhilarating.
Fucking love that. But we should get back to how you got into stand-up. So your sister died at 5.
Yeah.
You became...
I think developmentally, coping mechanism, sense of humor.
That's interesting that you said that you distracted people and like you felt tension and want to break it. Because last night with the magician that I had on, I mentioned that as well. Because I was like, did you feel like you had to get into magic to like make others around you happy because you saw that they weren't? Because David Blaine said the same thing.
On Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
about how he wanted to make his mother happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I happen to know that like other comedians, same idea. They saw people in their life sad and they wanted to cheer them up. So they started making jokes. And I just find it interesting how that, because I haven't had that at all. Like I was never a funny kid.
Well, in like a fucked up way, I'm kind of thankful for the fucked up things that have happened. Like I think bad things happening are a gift. Like they transform your character, and if you can overcome it healthily and I don't know, make the right moves, like you will be far better off than someone who's just had a perfect life, I think.
That is so true.
Like,
it's so much more interesting to talk to people who've been through
crazy
shit.
Yeah.
Like people who've just had no struggles. I'm like, you're not.
Yeah.
I still like you, but
and it's like,
you're not
it's another
interesting
thing,
to me.
Like nothing's anybody's fault.
It's true.
So like I never feel mad at people because like whatever they do, they had no. I kind of don't think there's free will. Like everything you do is kind of not your choice. It's all just your chemical brain structure, your upbringing, nature, nurture, just a giant. Kind of a determinist, I guess.
Nikki Glaser thinks the same way as you.
That's cool. I really liked that. The only thing I've seen of her was the Netflix special.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
But she talks about the lack of free will thing a lot. Because like when something bad happens, like let's say you don't get a job. Like say you really want a job and you just don't get it. It was never meant for you. Mm-hmm. Like that's the way you look at that, rather than what did I do that didn't get me this job? Woe is me. Why didn't I get this job? I deserve this job. Whereas you could just go, okay, it was never mine. On to the next.
Anything that's not in your control, don't worry about it.
Exactly.
That's like the golden rule, I think.
Yeah.
If you can't make an influence on it, or you're not willing to make the sacrifices to make an influence, then just don't even bother paying attention to it. Like
so true.
I kind of read Stoicism for like a couple weeks, and then I just fucking stopped. But I still go around talking about it.
You mentioned this to me. So what is that Stoicism?
Oh, man, it's like I'm gonna fuck it up or something, but I can just remember all of it's written in like it's like 300 BC or something, and it's like a paragraph thought, and then the next thing's like a 2-line thought. Like it's almost like weird little jokes, but instead of being funny, it's just like, here's a good point I thought, write it down. And but like a lot of it is like, don't worry about things that you can't control. A lot of it is about like just almost trying to control your own emotions. And which who knows if it's healthy. Fuck, I don't know. I'm just
I think,
trying it on.
I think it is, because I think it can be a struggle for people, especially I would say anger and jealousy are hard to control. And when you have that moment of like, I'm really angry and jealous, I want to just be angry and jealous, but you have that moment of like, don't be like the mental gymnastics of calming yourself down and going.
Do you meditate at all?
I don't, and this is a huge issue for me. I really
like I don't either. Like I can't really fucking chastise you or anything, but that would be kind of a solution to that, where if you were just sitting there and let your mind go blank, and then you notice like anger or jealousy arising, kind of the headspace you get into when you're meditating is like you see a thought and you're like, oh, there it is. And then whatever reaction you have to that thought, it's separate from you. Everything that's going on in your head, it's not like you. It's not Sarah. It's just a thought that came into Sarah for a second. And then you just look at it neutrally. And then I guess you do that enough, you get good at that, and then you'd be able to like quell those things.
Right. Yeah, I really got to try the meditation thing. My thing is...
Well, it's a hypocrite. I've never actually
is
developed it as a habit, but that's...
I always fall asleep.
Yeah. You can't do it just lying down. That's the...
But even sitting up.
Really? You fall asleep sitting down?
Honestly, I think it's just because I just don't get 8 hours of sleep every day. And like, this is main... Like, again, I'm bad at life. If you did
it cross-legged, then I think that's why they do that. Cross-legged on a pillow.
Okay.
Like, it's uncomfortable, but kind of, I guess, part of the point is like, you power through being uncomfortable. And no, this isn't painful. It's just a sensation. It's not like annoying. That's just my judgment of it. That's another big Stoic thing is like, it's nothing is good or bad. It's just however you react to it. Like, it's just a judgment. Bad is just, this car accident happened. That was bad. But you don't know. It could have been good. You don't know the greater picture. It also doesn't matter if you think it's bad. All you're doing is like causing stress on yourself because you've judged a situation in a negative way.
Right. Oh, that's so, like, to me, because I'm such an emotional person, I respect that. And like, I want to be there. I am not, though. Like, I'm the biggest, like,
there's whole practices.
Emotional, like we'll just feel it all. And like, and then I'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, depending on who you are, like, controlling your emotions is easier said than done.
Oh yeah,
like,
such a struggle. Yeah.
I don't think I've had an impact on it. Like, I definitely feel like there's been a shift in my perspective, and life's been pretty happy since Stoicism, but I have been ignoring it. Like, I only read it for like really like a month, and then I kind of stopped. Right. But then I just still like, oh yeah, that thing I was kind of attached to a little bit ago. But
ADD.
I know it's like, yeah, I definitely for sure have it. And
I do too. We should both get tests done at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's go get diagnosed.
And I told my mom, like, when I was growing up, I was like, look, I took these tests. I think I have this thing. And I'm even kind of cringing at myself saying this, because there are annoying people who's like, yeah, I'm ADD. And it's just like, okay, yeah, you're lazy. Whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm one of them, though, is the thing. All with a grain of salt. We're all, because you take those online tests and you're like, I think I have ADD. That would solve all my problems. I'm not like just a lazy person. I just have a brain disorder or a mental thing or something. So you go in and it's like, oh, are you always this, and this? And you're like, that sounds ADD-ish. That's me. You've already decided that you're like ADD.
Right.
But I don't know what extra shit they do in the legit diagnosis.
Yeah, there's a legit serious assessment test thing that you do. And I think it's pretty costly, too, to get it done.
Yeah, I thought it was like $1,000 or something to get diagnosed. And it's like, the only reason to do it is if you think that Ritalin would help your life. Because why else would you need to get it diagnosed? Like, you just deal with it as you know yourself, your own issues with it. Like, okay, if I'm right about this ADD things, I got to watch out for this, and this, these pitfalls.
I think for me, the light bulb came on, and again, I'm going back to Nikki Glaser. I listen to her every day. She does a daily podcast, like diary style, where she talks about her life. But she's also someone who thinks she's ADD, and she's in the process of getting tested for it. And when she said, and this really resonated with me, I don't know why. I know I'm really good and smart and could be great, but I'm just not doing that. And there's something
Like she's not
There's something holding me back.
from her potential,
Yeah.
but she's so successful. But that's why she's successful, because she just
But she's
never
been-
accepts how much she's got.
That's actually very true too. She's been living like with her parents during this whole lockdown, and she's been trying to write a book, and she just can't bring herself to write this fucking book. And
Has she ever written a book?
no,
Yeah, it's probably hard as fuck.
yeah, I can't imagine. Actually, the magician I had on yesterday also wrote a book. He's wrote a couple books.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I heard.
sounds like I'm bragging about my past.
Well, I'll bring up David Rossetti. That podcast kind of inspired me to write a script or something.
Oh my God,
if wave 2, if there's really nothing else to do,
Yeah,
I might as well, because I think that's kind of where that's like everybody's got their talents on stage. Mine's definitely not like crowd work or like performance.
What?
It's crowd work.
This remains such a thing with comics that I have on.
Well, everybody's got their stats. Like, I don't know the categories and I don't know the numbers, but it's like, yeah, Jim's really good at these absurdist jokes, but he doesn't do these kind of jokes. Like, everybody's got their thing. And,
That's interesting. Everybody has their thing. Yeah, but I mean, crowd work, I feel like, how many years have you been doing this?
like, literally, I don't even know. Like, it's probably 2 to 3 on paper, but so much of that was school and not doing stand-up. I've taken so many hiatuses.
Yeah.
I hate that it's a complicated answer, but probably accumulatively, like...
It's like when someone asks you, how long did you date that person? And it's like someone
yes.
you've been on and off with.
Yeah, the girlfriend I was talking about all podcasts has all been the same girl, just on and off for fucking 2 decades.
You're like, you try to add up all the times that you were together.
How long have you been dating? Oh,
month-long
fuck.
breakups.
Okay, she says 7 years, but really it's more like 4. Because if you say 7, we've just been cheating on each other for like 4 of them.
Yeah,
and I don't want to have Polly as an identity right now. I'm a little.
Oh God. But when did you actually do your first set? Do you remember?
It was the week after my birthday, I think 2017. I went to Oasis, and I met Brittany.
Brittany Campbell?
Yeah.
Oh, Brittany Campbell.
Yeah, she gave me my first set at Oasis. I went to Oasis on my birthday, and just to watch before I did it, and like it gave me a ton of confidence just to see it real. Like, oh, okay. Like I realized how insignificant like all this planning had been. Like, oh, I got this joke I've been working on, but then I saw it happen live, and I was like, oh, you can just say anything. Like, I just realized how free you could be with it, and I was just like, because what I was getting back to, like, everybody's got their thing they're good at, and I've always been good in like English class and stuff. Like, I'm kind of. That's where my intelligence is language, I think. Like, I'm not trying to brag. Everybody's got their thing.
Do you
remember those ads? What's your thing? And it's like bugs.
Oh, yeah. I still don't know what my thing is other than podcasting. I don't think I have a thing in comedy yet. I think I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah. Well, I was talking like a type of intelligence.
Oh, okay. Type of intelligence. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't
What's
know.
your strongest intellect stat?
I truly don't know.
Oh, man.
It's a bad time in life right now. I'm wildly insecure about everything.
Yeah,
but I think
it shows.
I truly think not working for 4 to 5 months will do that to a person.
But
Where
I
you're
mean,
like, what did I?
It's not that you fucked up though. Like, everybody is in that boat.
If I could say one area of that I'm strong, I would say my drive is really strong. I feel like I do get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something I want to do, I will do it. I cannot count on my hand how many friends have come to me. Oh, there's this project, there's this podcast I want to launch, or this project I want to do, and it's never gotten off the ground. I think I have the ability to run with things and make them happen.
There's a problem when you say you're gonna do something, because when you say like your plans or like I'm gonna accomplish this then, and people are like, okay, good. Your part of your brain gets the reward of doing the thing.
That's right.
And then you're less motivated to do it. You can't. kind of should keep some things to yourself.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I don't practice it though, because I will.
No, everything I'm saying that you should do, I do the opposite. I am not.
Yeah, I definitely
taking my own medicine at all.
There's certain goals I have that I think that I haven't talked a lot about currently. I mean, I probably talked about it with people, but not like so much outwardly. But I find it to be a motivator. I actually want accountability. I find accountability helps me accomplish things.
So if you tell someone that you're gonna do something, then it's like, okay, now I have to.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's
I
why,
like the accountability. I like on Instagram stories lately, I've been like updating people when I apply for jobs because I'm trying to do like one job a day right now. Because I haven't done shit for 4 months. And I'm like, it's should or get off the pot time. And I feel like the more that I do the one job a day, like maybe then it will be 2 a day.
One job a day? You mean like apply to one job a day?
Yeah.
I fucking hate applying for jobs.
Don't even get me started.
Ooh, yeah.
I hate it. Yeah.
That's the worst.
But also, I just don't know what I want to do currently. So
accountability online, though, that is a tool. I've seen, like, that's how Bert and Tom lost all that weight. They got fat shamed by the internet.
Bert
Kreischer and
oh yes, okay.
Yeah. So they use fat shaming to their advantage to lose weight, but then I think they packed it all on again.
Whatever works for you. I think there's definitely value in both ways that you approach it. I just know I'm a lazy fuck. So
I mean, I was trying not to jerk off, and then I ran into Joe and Jim at an oyster bar and made it a contest. So now I'm definitely gonna make it.
We gotta talk about this. So you're in a challenge?
The Seinfeld episode, but it's not indefinite. I think in the episode it was like whoever breaks first.
Okay, I have like 1,000 questions about this because I think it's just number one, absolutely ridiculous and stupid. Number two,
You think it's stupid?
well, okay, what are the rules of this challenge?
Okay, so they're kind of shifting, I guess. So no.
Jesus Christ!
The main thing is no porn for 90 days.
I thought it was no jerking off.
No porn or jerking off. So no porn or jerking off. I don't know how much I want to disclose because Joe and Jim aren't here.
Well, let's just talk generally about the challenge. We don't have to get into specific details.
So apparently it's like 90 days with addictions is like when your neurons aren't wired together hard anymore. And so I just thought mainly it was inspired by reading about Stoicism because a lot of it is like trying to resist just easy pleasure. Yeah, just you're practicing discipline.
Okay.
So like it's something like just jerking off to porn all day is just as fucking useless of a waste of time as like just playing video games all day.
Right. Okay.
And it's like if you like release a bunch of dopamine doing this stuff, then you're gonna be less motivated to do other things.
So do you?
I don't know how coming works for girls and how they feel afterwards. Maybe it's better, but like for guys, you're like
I'd have to pay you
depleted.
$150 an hour to tell you about my situation. I'm actually like.
All right, I'm not willing to.
I love how you're like, I'm not willing to. Yeah, if you give me $150, I still don't want to hear this.
If you told me for free, sure. I'm not gonna.
I'm probably booking a session soon with an intimacy coach about this because like I've Googled it, I've researched, I can't find anyone with the same problem as me, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is just me then. All right,
what's the problem?
Great. Oh, I cry every time I come.
Oh,
I
really?
get deeply sad. And depressed.
I've seen that.
It's not crying from pleasure, just so everybody knows.
Oh, okay.
It's like I'll come, and within seconds, I cut myself off from it. I get up, I move around. I don't even allow myself to bask. I just literally like cut myself off from it, and I cry, and I literally get so
Even if
sad.
it's by yourself?
Yep.
Oh, that doesn't sound worth it. You should get on this no jerking off thing too.
I really should, but I mean, fuck, we're getting deeper than I thought we would get. I think that there's something really deeply not right with me. And yeah, it's worth. I gotta talk to a fucking therapist.
Do you know where it comes from? Do you think it's in a life experience, or just you're wired some way?
It's been 2 years of this. Like, it's been going on for 2 years. I think it's I'm so deeply lonely, and I really want a connection with another person. Because here's the other thing: it only happens when I watch porn. If I don't watch porn, if it's just imagination, I'm fine.
See, yeah, because look, now that I'm on this, we're on day 23. No porn or jerking off. Porn is fucking stupid because the way God or the universe or the fucking caveman intended it to be was you imagining you having sex with someone else. But porn is this weird peeping Tom thing where you're watching you're watching people fuck. I said it by accident, the right thing. Because I hit my glass.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
You're a weirdo watching stepsisters and brothers fuck.
But regardless, for me, I think that in the moment, I literally get jealous because regardless of what's happening in the porn,
someone else is being intimate and you don't have it.
Exactly. It's the lack of intimacy, the lack of connection. Because if it's just me, if I'm not seeing a couple, if I'm not seeing like girl and a girl or a guy and a girl, you know, whatever I'm into that day, if I'm not seeing that in front of me, it's usually imagination.
And that works better and you don't cry.
I don't usually get... I can't believe I admitted to this.
Then you should stop watching porn.
Yeah, no,
porn sounds like it has an awful effect on you.
Well, I haven't been doing much of all of that anyway lately.
Yeah.
Like just generally speaking, like I'm not going to put a challenge on it. But like... but I also, this is what I want to ask you. So do you think because you're depleting yourself of that type of serotonin release or dopamine release, do you think you're just finding it in other things like junk food or like are you doing other...
Oh yeah, you have to like replace it with stuff.
Yeah.
I find for sure like I'm better at life. Like for real. It's like... Because, yeah, your dopamine is your motivation. So, like, you don't actually get it when you, like, if I was an alcoholic, I drank it. It's not when I swallowed it and then the effects come out. It's, like, anticipation for about to drink it. That's when you get the dopamine. That's kind of irrelevant. But anyway, it's a motivational chemical. So, like, all that energy goes somewhere. And you just kind of channel it into healthy things, like I just walk around all the time,
is there anything
or
unhealthy?
like I've started eating better.
Oh, okay.
It just becomes easier to be disciplined overall.
Okay. So it's working in the right way for you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I'm dying of thirst, but other than that.
But there's also... Do you want me to get you a water?
No, not that kind of thirst.
Oh, shit.
No, it doesn't do that. But apparently, because when you jizz as a fella, you like start getting estrogen and progesterone through your body, and so that doesn't happen. And then you, I guess, you have more testosterone, so like you get a little hairier, you get a little more confident and shit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating because it's not being released; it's staying in.
Yeah. Apparently, it's not good for your prostate. Whatever. I'm not going to do it forever, but I'm young.
You are young. Yeah, it's a good time for you to do it, I think, if you're going to do it.
And your balls get huge.
But aren't there not speculations, what's the word? Stipulations on this? Like you can fuck,
rules?
but you can't jerk
Yeah,
off?
no.
You can still fuck?
You can still fuck. Like, if you fucked and came, then you would lose, like, the hormonal things. But you wouldn't lose our contest, which just involves jerking off and porn. But we decided that we can't have girlfriends or casual sex partners on repeat, because then it will be unfair to the other people if they can't manage to get a girlfriend.
Girlfriend or consistent casual.
Yeah, and I don't think I have the heart to like literally have sex with someone once and be like, sorry, I'm in a contest with my friends, so we can't actually see each other anymore, but I'll call you in 3 months.
Oh my god, that's funny.
That sounds like the douchiest excuse possible to not establish a relationship with someone.
I'd fucking say.
So I'm just gonna be celibate for
one night stands
90
only,
days.
Then.
Yeah,
okay.
That's acceptable.
I mean, that's nothing. Jesus
90 days
Christ.
is nothing.
Nothing.
It's nothing for a girl, but every fucking guy tells like you're out of your mind.
Well, like, what's the longest you've gone?
This is the longest I've gone.
Really?
23 days for sure.
What?
Like, hands down. It's never been
Just
more
to
than
be-
like
to be
a week.
a young man of 23 and to say the most I've got is 20 days.
That's honorable. That's a
Do you wanna
big
know-
number.
Okay, can
That's
you guess how long?
impressive.
Can you guess how long I've gone?
2 months?
No.
Longer?
Yeah.
I thought that was over the mark.
9 months. Ah.
9 months?
Well, more recently 9 months. I might have gone longer before that. But like this past.
Whoa.
This past.
With no porn and jerking off.
Oh no.
That's what we're
sex.
talking about.
I'm talking about sex.
No, I'm not talking about sex.
Oh, okay. What's the longest you've gone without sex?
Oh, fuck. Shit. Well, like, I lost it at 16, and then, I don't know, not that long, but, like, that's not that crazy.
Okay.
I thought you meant, like,
Oh,
masturbating.
God, no. I'm not an insane person.
Okay. Holy shit. Good. Yeah. 23 days is not the longest I've ever gone without sex.
I feel
for sure.
without masturbation, I don't think I've gone any longer than like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's average.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
where I was before this.
And like those 2 weeks were probably just I was probably really busy.
Those 2 weeks were my former little religious boy self trying to do Lent.
Were you religious growing up?
Well, kinda. My parents tried to raise me Catholic, but they didn't really give a shit, so I didn't really give a shit, and it was just kind of a boring thing I had to do. But then they put me in Bible camp, and it was just so much fun, just camp in general. Like, that was like some of the happiest memories, and it happened to also inject me with this like fucking belief system and morals and shit. And
Bible camp
yeah.
did?
Yeah, I totally bought it. I was like, this is the way. These people are so like cool and chill. They were honestly probably like the nicest, best cult in the world. Like completely harmless. But like, I worked there as a counselor, dishwasher. I washed floors. I hung out with them in the years between and shit. Like, it was just like people doing stand up. But
right.
it wasn't the formal boring shit I've seen in Catholicism. It was literally just someone doing stand-up. They tell personal stories, and sometimes it would be funny, but it was like a lot of just like, here's how God affected me, and it's just all the way they interpreted life events through this filter of it's just like a really laid-back kind of hippy-dippy Christianity.
Oh, damn.
Which is like, ooh, it was good.
Okay.
And then like I grew up and like looked at everything more logically and just kind of came to be atheist at one point, but now I'm just agnostic. I think if you're an atheist, you're stupid. There's no way you could know.
Yeah.
Because atheism says there's no God. You can't know. Everybody should be agnostic as soon as they look at the definition.
Even a small percentage agnostic.
You can be agnostic in combination with anything else.
Yeah.
You can be an agnostic Christian. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but I happen to believe in this one.
I subscribe to this, but I don't know.
Yeah. So, like, for a while I was saying I was an agnostic atheist. So, like, and I had a philosophy teacher say that's fucking stupid, but I stand by it. It's like, I don't know whether or not there's a God, but I happen to think there isn't.
Right.
I think that makes sense.
That
But
way makes more sense than
I take
the
the
other way.
atheist part off that. I don't either way. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a deep. I always say, I'm like, you could find out tomorrow that you're, like, you go to the doctor. You could literally find out you have 3 months to live. Like, or a very short amount of time. And I always go to myself like, well, I don't have money. I can't travel the world. I can't do the things I want to do. If I were to find that out,
I'd take a bunch of mushrooms.
I would definitely do that because I haven't done that yet. But I would definitely try to find some sort of faith because I truly don't want to believe that there's nothing after
That's why I like Stoicism. It's got a lot of Christian ethics, which I've retained. Like, I've retained the ethics. I think they're good for the most part.
Right.
I mean, they get a little crazy. Like,
Christian, not Catholic, right? There's a difference between the two, right?
Well, Catholic counts as a type of Christian, but the kind of Christian I was, I don't know what the label is exactly. Maybe it's like Baptist or something, but it's like very casual. It's just
I think
chilling
Baptist
with
is more extreme.
maybe.
Protestant?
Oh, maybe.
Were you
No, it's not Protestant. It's not. They were like, we're not a religion. I think it's like kind of like born again Christian, I guess. Yeah, it was just very hippie. It was like, Jesus is my buddy, as opposed to, yeah, you just hit up your buddy Jesus with your problems, and then you just sit there, and then your brain would come with a thought and be like, oh, was that you, Jesus? Okay, I'll follow that, but it's just your subconscious giving you advice.
Strict in terms of like, because I know for me, I was raised Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
I was raised church every Sunday. You know, we didn't really talk much about religion outside of church every Sunday. But I remember being 16 at my sister's wedding, hearing the priest say, do you promise to raise children in the eyes of God? And I remember going, 1, what if they don't want children? 2, what if they don't want to raise them Catholic? And I started questioning things.
It's pretty heavy-handed, that stuff. And it was never a big thing in my house. But it was like my parents felt obligated to be loyal to it because their parents took it so seriously.
Right.
And now I don't give a shit. So it's just like, it's just gone down. And that's been the path for religion. Nobody gives a shit about religion anymore, really. Yeah. I actually ran into one of those Bible camp counselors like later, probably when I was like 16, 17, and now I'm like an atheist. And then I run into him in the mall at Christmas shopping. And then we just kind of exchanged prayer. Oh, yeah, how you doing? Good, yeah. You're still with Melissa, yeah. And then he was like, so how's your walk with the Lord? And so I was just like, I'm not going to lie about what I think. So I told him.
We're not walking anymore,
yeah, we're
buddy.
not walking anymore. So I told him. And so now we're stuck because in his world, I'm going to hell now, and he has a chance to save me. So he has to try. So we're in a debate now. It lasts a long time.
Did you actually respond with, I'm not walking, or?
Yeah, I told him. And then because I was like, Christian fools, I'm an atheist now. And I'm like reading Richard Dawkins. And I'm thinking like, I'm going to pwn him in this debate. Didn't go that way. We both thought we won. Like, we were just at a complete impasse.
That's crazy.
I was like, religion is going down more and more, and the world has never been better. And he's like, yeah, religion's been going down and down more, and the world's never been worse. So we just had completely different.
You know what's weird? Kind of side with him on that one.
Yeah, I kind of do too now, actually.
Yeah, it's weird. I think
strange. The general public needs like to account for the people who can't just sit around and philosophize their way into being happy. It's like a type of mental medicine that's just really effective, and without it, there's a big vacuum, and people will get into fucking other types of extreme ideologies like communism or all kinds of shit.
I think generally speaking, humans, we are social humans, and everybody needs a community, and religion is a community.
Oh yeah,
and
it's
regardless of what your
really.
community is, it could be a group of friends, it could be a comedy scene.
Now they're online.
It could be like people who share your interests, like the honestly, like the people who shoot out schools, like they don't have community. They have felt so
excluded.
Lonely. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why they do it. So like that's really what that's rooted in. I don't necessarily believe in like organized religion, and certainly don't believe in any religion that would be like, you can't do this and this.
They get wild too. Like
I
heard they used to do the thing in Bible camp, the testimonials, where literally you would just go up in front of a campfire and tell your like story of this might be why I leaned to stand up, because this was just people performing, like people riffing. They had like probably a set list, like I'm gonna hit this point in this story, and then that's why Jesus touched my life right there, and then I close with this. Like it was. Yeah, like a preacher. So like instead of, because I think some like black comics might have like a preacher cadence to them, but I have inherited some kind of like hippie fucking white trash Christian preacher vibe. Yeah, Bible camp vibe. Yeah.
That's wild. So, okay, so and then your sister died young, and then your dad also passed away.
My dad died. Yeah. That was when I was 16. He was in a wheelchair. He had muscular dystrophy, so it's just your muscles shit the bed all over the place. And he actually lived like way longer than he was supposed to. I didn't find that out until after he was dead. But that's pretty cool. He had a good run apparently.
Wow.
But so your lungs are a muscle, and actually like the muscles in between your ribs, that's what expands your lungs and your diaphragm and shit. So those muscles start to go, and then you kind of just go downhill. So like. I remember the worst day wasn't like when he died or anything. It was just when he went to the hospital, and it was like, oh, this seems grim, and you could like sense it. And I just remember going home and watching stand up, and I have no idea who it was. I can't remember at all. but like I laughed like a maniac. Like I've never laughed so much at stand up before. Like every joke was fucking killing me.
You needed it. Yeah.
Yeah. It would, and so that might be another launching pad for wanting to see it through.
That makes me want to cry.
Oh fuck, man. See, this is why
No,
I don't tell.
It's not so much the
it's
dad
so
dying.
awkward.
It's the fact that you found joy in stand up. That's what makes me. It's more of a happy cry. Like it's more of a
nice.
like someone posted an. I almost cried at this too the other day. I truly think something's going on with my hormones. I'm really emotional lately. Someone posted an Instagram story of an outdoor show in New York where a lot of the comedy shows that they're doing are outdoors right now. And it was just like literally a video of this little kid, like a little guy kid, just by himself, sitting in a field, watching stand up and laughing. And I literally could have cried because like the caption
How
was
old
just
was
like
he?
The caption was like, this is our best audience member. He literally sat by himself, stayed the whole show, laughed the whole time. And I was just like,
a comedy show in the park?
Yeah, in New York.
Oh
outside.
my god.
And I was just like,
Dave Chappelle used to do that all the time. That's so cute.
I know, I literally want to cry. Like when people tell me stuff like that about how, like, because I do think that there is a healing.
Yeah, it's
comedy is healing.
It's cathartic.
It's healing.
Well,
for both the comedian and the audience member is the thing.
I mean, yeah, and it varies depending on the style of comedy. Some comedy, and it's not like it's better or worse, but doesn't hit you in the feels or anything like that. But it's capable of so much. It's like comedy is, and this is probably something I've heard on a podcast, probably Joe Rogan or something, but like it's like you have music. Yes. And there's so many genres. There's so many genres of comedy, but it's just you could never pin them all down. It's like every person is their own genre.
Yep. And like you said, none of them are better or worse. They're all just different. And that is, we have to constantly keep that in check because I think it can be. The thing is with comedy and what I've realized just diving into it, because I had this perspective of it for so long as a fan and someone who just enjoys the art. But when I started doing it, I started realizing just how fucking personal it is and how in your head you can get about it and how like you can just critique yourself to death.
Yeah, you're really putting yourself out there.
It's really truly like someone wrote me on Instagram being like, good job for you for doing stand-up because that's one of the bravest things you can do. And I literally just went, you know, you're kind of right. Like in a weird way. Like I never really saw it that way for a long time because like I've been so close to it. But,
that's why the scene has like maybe 20 to 30 people max in like a place with 500,000 people. Right. That's how many are willing to just do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre. Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
Nobody wants to do stand up.
And it really is a bond. Like regardless of your level.
Fucking war buddies.
Yeah, we really are. It's pretty insane. Is there anyone that like you? So when you started doing comedy, was there anyone who was starting around the same time as you that you kind of like kind of went through it with, or were you very much so like on your own with it?
I mean, yeah, I was kind of like. See, this is where I fucked up with my personality. Is like
where I fucked up with my personality. I love that. That's a T-shirt. This is where being who I am fucks things up for me.
I just didn't socialize enough.
Okay,
I had a long-term relationship. I have like the opposite problem of you where I like just leaned on intimacy so much I never branched out and made bonds with people. So like I've always been in relationships.
Yeah.
And so I just used, because I like smaller groups of people.
Yeah.
I just like having all the attention.
Yeah.
Probably why I want to be on stage. So like
Aries.
Groups of big people, really? Groups of big people, it's like you can't get a word in edgewise.
Yeah,
you gotta
no,
wait for
true.
your turn, and it better be good. And if it's not, you just ruined your reputation, and then you're in your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're probably better than I am. You're obviously more extroverted.
Being friends with so many comics is a blessing and a curse, I think. Because, like, I've often told people that the friends I have currently... Okay, I don't want this to come off the wrong way. But I've never felt more understood in my life. Like, life is really hard right now and there's a lot of challenges, but in terms of feeling understood, meeting comics has been huge for that. Because I feel like I've met my people. Like, where I can say fucked up, self-deprecating shit, and it's not seen as like...
Yeah.
You
like,
know?
I would make a joke about my dead dad to... I haven't yet, I don't think. But, like, I'd be more willing to. I hate doing it with real people because
exactly
they'll fucking be like, oh, like it makes them uncomfortable. Yeah. I like it if there's people who would find it funny to watch them squirm around.
That's right.
Or like they would be like, why would you do that to them? And I'm like, it was funny.
It's a way that I think people who do comedy look at the world that is different than other people. It doesn't make it better or worse. It doesn't mean that the friends I have that aren't comics aren't some of my best friends still. But I'm just saying that in terms of feeling like a community, I've never felt part of a community until I started like podcasting with comics, going to shows all the time, being friends with them, like enrooting myself before ever even doing it.
Probably my first community was Bible camp.
Yeah.
And then stand up.
Right?
Yeah.
So you haven't felt that close-knit community since Bible camp.
Probably not. I had friend groups growing up, but it was always like I have like just a handful of best friends, like less than 5.
Yeah.
And I just use them as conduits to the friend groups, and I never would go to the friend groups without them. Like, I mean, sometimes, yeah, like my main friend group in Sydney, like, yeah, we were tight, but
yeah.
I was a periphery character in their lives almost. Oh. They were tighter with each other than, and it wasn't like they were excluding me. It's just that's how much I was willing to put in. I'm just kind of keep to myself.
I want to cry.
Oh my God. Is this the first time a guest has made you cry?
But I feel that so fucking hard because I feel the same way with my friends. Like, I truly feel like I have all these weird little pockets of friends that like, it's not one group or not one unit. And then as adult life happens, especially me, I'm 33, like they go off and get families and they get married. And
yeah, that's gonna be scary. That's gonna freak the fuck out of me.
And they go off, and so I'm still friends with them, but we're no longer part of each other's regular lives. Like we might see each other every now and then at a wedding or something.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to weddings. I am so glad those are not actually they're right around the corner. They probably fucking start at 25, don't they?
I mean, yeah, I would say late 20s.
God damn it. Yeah. I don't want to.
Because I would say like, yeah, anywhere from like 27 to 30 is when things will start to like get weird. And then when you're above 30, it's like then you're getting kids. And then soon enough for me, I'm going to start seeing the divorce wave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's only so many ways a life can go.
But it's interesting because, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but like, I always was like, okay, my friends have gone off and gotten families of their own, and I'm no longer, like I'm just here on my own. And then like I had a friend reach out to me who like is a mom, married with like 2 kids, and she was literally just like, I fucking miss hanging out, and I feel so lonely sometimes.
Yeah, the grass is always greener.
And it was just so interesting to me because I was just like, oh, like I thought you didn't want to, like, and then she's reaching out being like, no, I really want to just drink a glass of wine,
yeah,
and not talk about diapers.
I mean, all these things are tackled in the show Sex and the City.
Oh my God. This is literally the 3rd time you've mentioned the show to me in our friendship.
Because you're going to like it. I swear.
I have watched the show.
Not when you're 33, though.
No, it's true.
You're going to relate so hard. It's like what the whole show is about is what you're talking about.
I
like
know.
the crisis a woman has in her mid-30s where it's shit about get off the pot time.
Did you just say mid-30s? Well, third, I guess.
Well, you're
approaching
like
mid-30s.
I thought the way you go on about yourself, I thought you were like 26, and then you're 33. I was like, oh, what the fuck? What is she so scared about?
You thought I was 26?
Just not because it looks, just the way you go on. Like, oh my God, I gotta get yeah.
Well, okay. So is that worse for me or better?
That's better. That's better. You have more time. You had more time than I thought you did. I think you're overreacting to your own age.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
One thing, you'll laugh at this. There's this quiz that's very intense, very long, and what it is
it makes you cry at the end, doesn't it?
It matches you to what's your fictional character? What character from like TV or movies is you? Okay. And it will give you hundreds of results and percentages. So you'll have like the highest percentage all the way down to like, 5%. Like, so it gives you this massive list. Do you want to know what was number 1?
What?
Carrie.
Carrie
From
like
Sex
the
and the
Steven-
City.
Oh, really? You're gonna fucking love this show.
Should I rewatch Sex and the City? Should
Yes.
I start? Should I?
Yes.
Should
Do
I
you have
binge
Crave?
it? I don't.
I'll give you my Crave password. You're watching
I
it.
was just gonna say I could just download it, but
If you know how to do that.
whatever works.
If you know how to do that, I don't know how to do that.
I don't have any shame in taking some money from SJP. She'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like the thing with the show is that she produced it, and it's really cheesy. It's really kind of
it's highly
cheesy a lot of
cheesy.
times.
I think the cheesiest.
But like the highlights are like Sarah Jessica Parker can act her ass off in certain scenes. Delivering jokes, it's corny and shitty. When she fucking cracks wise, it's a groaner most of the time. But she's very skilled at like the fights and like the breakups.
Yeah.
It's like the format of the show. Like, did you watch it very much? It's
I'm
like
trying to remember. Like, I remember certain moments in the show. Like, I certainly remember the wedding scene with Big.
That's the movie. The movies suck.
Was it the movie?
The movie, if there's a
Where
he
he
leaves her
left
at
her?
the hospital.
Oh, that
yeah,
was in the
that's
movie.
the movie. The movie sucks. Seasons like 1 to 4 is where it's at.
I just thought of a wild idea. I probably shouldn't say it out loud. But I was like, how funny would it be to do a podcast rewatching Sex and the City?
That exists.
From the perspective of a 23-year-old male and a 33-year-old. Like, we're 10 years apart.
Yeah, we are.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Like, but just the idea of like, because you love it so much. You're not the only guy I've talked to who loves
It's
that
a good show.
There's a lot of male friends that I've had that have been like, watch Sex and the City. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it's just like it's kind of like just Bizarro World Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It's like it's Seinfeld that takes itself way too seriously. Like Seinfeld stood out by being the most irreverent show where it's just like the characters never have long-term relationships and it never works out, and it's just girls coming in and out. Sex and the City has that too, where it's just but Sex and the City's vulgar. It's HBO, so it's a little spicier. Even though it's corny, it still says the F word. It's like mwah.
It's pretty vulgar. And like I
And
remember
there's lots of titties and shit. There's no dicks. Even though it's a show for women, it's just here's titties.
Oh, wait, but that was the time. Like I feel like Game of Thrones started showing us dong, and then other show like what show was it?
I remember seeing the first episode of Crashing. I never watched any other part of it, but
great
that show's
Great
full
show.
male frontal flaccid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show that I'm thinking of that I loved so much that I watched over quarantine was Normal People, the Hulu show. They showed a lot of dong. And I was like, props off to you. Because there was a lot of tits, but there was a lot of dong.
You think that's like a real progressive move? Like, suck it up, guys. You get to look at a dick.
Well, not progressive.
Straight girls had to watch tits
but more just
for
like,
20 years.
But more just like, yeah, of course. Why haven't you been doing this all along? Like,
I mean, a dong is more aggressive than tits. Like just a straight up vagina in a movie, that would be fucking. It's porn now. Like, what have you done?
yeah. Have we seen?
Unless it's very
a lot of
foreign.
vagina in TV?
No, you never see that. I mean, you could show a girl like full frontal because
Right.
you can't see anything, especially if they have a bush. It's just like a built-in panties, but you
Yeah.
never see like a spread eagle fucking
Not a
puss
spread
in a
eagle,
movie.
no. But a lot of women haven't even seen themselves spread eagle like that.
Have never seen themselves.
That's a thing for women. Women like
They've
women,
never done this.
Not all. You'd be
That's-
shocked. Women
that's
have been
weird.
socialized to be disgusted by their own vaginas.
Just as
Because
a
of
human,
Dane Cook.
as a human, you should. Dane Cook's the.
Yeah,
what
Dane
did
Cook started the fucking meat curtain joke. It's
yeah?
like a meat curtain. Like he was the one. And don't get me wrong, actually, like I had the hugest crush on Dane Cook for the longest time. I loved him, loved his stand up, but he did teach us to hate our vaginas.
Well,
based on that.
I think that's fucked up, but I also think it's equally fucked up to make fun of really tiny dicks. Because dudes with really tiny dicks, it's hopeless. That's what it is. Same with the big meat curtain.
You are right, though. Yeah, people can't fucking control that.
But a meat curtain is way less. It doesn't do anything to the experience. Like, it's just an aesthetic thing. Like a little dick, like you fuck less efficiently. Like that is really. I mean, maybe not. Like.
I think that there's been studies that are like, it actually physically doesn't matter.
Really?
Because the first 2 inches of the vagina are the most sensitive. So really, as long
I know I've heard this argument. I still don't believe it though.
I'm of the.
You don't. How many fucking 2-inch dildo sales are there?
Not a lot, but I also don't think that they're making them. So.
No, exactly. There's no market.
Because I also think on the other side of things, the big dick narrative is also blown out of proportion because not most women don't want a massive dick.
Average and up is kind of good enough, and it gets ridiculous at some
Jim
point.
Temple's thing? I would not fucking put that.
No, yeah, that
Are
thing's
you crazy?
You got a comically large one for that reason.
Jesus fucking Christ, that's a big.
That thing's ridiculous. Yeah. If you have that dick, you're having a less happy sex life than someone like. I think once you reach like, I don't know. It's just the fact that it's so thick. Like if it was a little thinner, you could shorten it up and it wouldn't matter. But like, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's cartoonish.
I have preferences, but truly, they're just preferences.
Where does the diminishing returns come in inches before it's like this is
See, I find
before it's like this any bigger than this is less good.
I'm so bad with length because I've only ever had one dick that I would consider huge, and that was my second boyfriend, which like I'm pretty sure he was like 9 to 10.
That's ridiculously big, yeah. That's insane, yeah. That's fucked.
So I'm skewed. Like because that was like an early sexual experience.
That's not when you want that thing.
But for me it's always been girth. Like I'm just much more into the girth.
I've heard that.
Because the skinny long dick, I don't want that. Because I also
that looks like a prod. Like it's gonna electrocute yours. I don't know. Fucking Four Caesars.
Yeah, it's just I think generally speaking, I've talked to a lot of women. If you're skinny and long, that's less appealing than shorter and thick.
Yeah.
I think
like
most
a good
would
girthy
say,
6 is better than a pencil
6.
8.
Oh my god, is that the title?
Girthy. No, because then people are gonna think that's me, and I don't want
to. Girthy 6. That's my album title.
If the whole point of the album is that's my choice of best.
Oh my god.
Is that your choice of best? A girthy 6.
A girthy 6. I don't know what would your album title be if you. Okay. So,
I already know my album title and I'm not gonna say it because it's not coming for like probably 10 years and I don't want someone to steal it. But I have a perfect one.
Do you really? Can you tell me off air?
Yeah.
Like, is it something that I would take if you told me?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, because I don't think you would do that to me. But
no,
do you mean like if it would fit you?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't even know if it fits me. I like it. I want to snag it.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And it it intertwines nicely into my other career Intel stand-up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I can benefit from that other career without actually even talking about it. And if I made my voice this direction I'm thinking, which who fucking knows? I probably don't know shit right now about where my voice is going. Nobody does. But if that would intertwine nicely with the title I have in mind.
That's interesting. I always think of little titles and I go, oh, that's really the whole album. That's my album title thing is what's a couple words that could sum up what your comedy is like kind of thing. And yeah, that's a tough one. That would be tough coming up with an album title.
I just watched Sam Morrill's special.
Ooh.
Did you see that?
No.
It's really good. A bunch of people just came out with specials on YouTube.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Joe List,
Mark Normand, and Sam Morrill. And I just watched Joker again, and he does a set. You don't even see him, but he gets a voice credit with his real name. He does some material. He's going on before the Joker goes on stage. And he tells some jokes, and they're actual material, they're decent jokes. And then they go, "Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Morrill," and they call him off. Brian Callen makes a cameo, but he just plays one of the Joker's clown coworkers.
Okay.
And then
oh my god.
And then Mark Maron is what's his name? Robert De Niro's right hand man.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that because
you watched it.
I
guess I don't want to spoil it for the audience or anything, but
well, I have seen it, but I did not realize that.
Yeah, there's lots of comics making cameos.
I didn't catch that, but maybe it's just because like I wasn't as familiar with them.
Gary Goldman does an actual set on camera.
Oh right.
It's the part where like Joker's like laughing in between all the parts, like he's laughing the wrong times.
Terribly.
That was Gary Goldman.
Terribly uncomfortable. Have you had like a set that sticks out to you as like your worst?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, High Life.
Everyone says that. I can say that because it's closed.
I went upstairs to the dispensary like probably 3 hours early, and I was like, "Hey, I do stand-up comedy. Can you give me weed that won't make me anxious?" He's like, "I got you." I don't know if he fucked me or if I just got cocky, but yeah, the cockiness is the real lesson in the whole story. I just sat there and smoked weed like long before anybody showed up, looked at all my material. I was like, decided I was going to do a whole 7 minutes that I've never done before, that I just wrote like about an experience, just a whole story for 7 minutes that I just like, they're just the fucking worst open micer bright idea possible. And so I smoked a bunch of weed and I sat there and looked at it and had like a panic attack, like, oh, this is all shit. And I went to my car and like scratched a bunch out and wrote new shit. And I had like a nice like leather notebook, which is the stupidest thing ever to have, especially to bring if it's just like, yeah, look how much dedication I have. And then if you bring it on stage and you flip through it, like, I don't think there's anybody in the scene who's that dumb to like flip through and like actually read like a whole sentence in your head.
I thought about a show idea called The Old Joke Book, where I could get pro comics, like people who've been doing it a long, long time, bring their early joke books up.
I have like a Sobeys bag full of legal pad.
That's something that like today I've been thinking a lot about, because I've been talking to a couple comics today about some things, and like they all say the same thing, and I totally get it, which is like, the material you have right now sucks and it's not good. And
I've never gotten very attached.
I truly like, I had a moment today of just like, but I like what I'm doing.
Yeah. And you have to like,
but I like it. And why? And like I have been having a hard time psychologically with like just the idea of like, you gotta keep writing. You gotta, like, obviously I know I have to rework things and like say things differently or like try things different ways, but it's just weird to me to think about like the future and be like, there's going to be a time that I'm going to look back at like, you know, that set list over there and go, that was shit. Whereas like right now I'm like so in love with it. It's just weird.
Yeah. Cause
it's
like,
just weird. Like,
you can have a set list that does good, and then you look back at it later. You could look back at a video where you killed and be like, that was still bad stand-up. It was just that audience. Yeah. And it's like, but if you can kill with the material, like you have something there for sure. Yeah. And you should hold on to that if you're like killing with something. But like, yeah, you have to
not be, you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible. And
because it's like you're really attached when you've been writing it for a big chunk of time before your first set, and it's like, okay, you did your first set, now there's another mic around the corner, and if you just do the same set again, that's kind of shameful. You gotta have new stuff.
That's also where I'm at.
I got a little too obsessed with new stuff all the time in my development. I don't think I have the skill to really develop bits. Like I've never been good at just like making adjustments and perfecting this bit until it's finely tuned. I just go, I use that logic of like, well, I'm a like 1 to 2 year comic. It's just probably shit, so I might as well just write a different thing. And so I just like,
because
I don't have any material from before pandemic, and like I don't have any like a lot of material at all. Right. And I just forgot it all, and I'm not really gonna use it. I'm not good at developing. It's like I took it too far, like and it's not like, I'm not saying like every time I go to a mic I have new stuff. Like I haven't been living up to that at all, like during the pandemic. I'm just kind of stuck to like, I have A material and I have C material. I need some B material.
There you go. Yeah. The in between.
Yeah. It's like I can't just, I have one like A material chunk, but I can't just do that every fucking mic.
And your A material is probably older. Because you've worked on it more.
It is like the best thing I had before the pandemic, but then it has a new personal twist on it, and then more things added to it. So, and it's very consistent, but like everything else I have that's not that is like pretty bad.
Huh.
Like I've written a couple nice like short jokes that are consistent, but other than that, like that's all I got.
What's success to you? So like when you're saying that it's bad, like this is what I'm having issues with right now, which is like listening back to sets, and I've only done 5. Mm-hmm. So that right there is like skewing everything with me, where I'm like, I just gotta put these jokes through the ringer more and figure out like which ones aren't working. But like, what in your mind, like when do you go, that joke's done, I'm not doing it again? Like, is it
usually if it does bad once?
Is it only once?
Or twice?
Okay.
Twice for sure. And that's way too strict. You should
I think
give
that's
it more
far
a
too
host
strict.
than that.
And
yeah.
I think if you're doing it, like say you do a new joke for like, let's say a ladies' night crowd. Like there was a decent sized crowd at Oasis for ladies' night, and it doesn't do good. That's probably a good indication that it's not going to do good.
Yeah.
But if you're doing little open mics where it's like, I don't know, what would you say the size of Daily Grind would be typically? Like
audience member size?
10 to 15.
Yeah.
Like non-comics, like
Yeah,
not
yeah,
including the
yeah.
comics that are sitting in the back. Like,
Probably.
like it's a small crowd, so you got to try that shit out. Like if you're doing small shows.
And the Daily Grind last night when I did bad, it was just filled with like the most beautiful women I've ever seen, and it just made it so much more painful. Like I get it, you don't have to. I understand why you're not laughing, but why do you're making me nervous? Like just please don't put on makeup next time. You know this is a new. Wear a sweater and sweatpants or something, because this is new material night. You just came to just fucking. It's like as a guy, it's like that's the worst thing that can happen. Humiliated in front of beautiful
Did anyone
women.
do really well last night?
Yeah. Joe did really well. Mitch did pretty good.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiley, I think, did good. Now I don't want to.
Yeah.
Keep going down this train because someone's gonna not have their name.
No,
said
you're being
but
objective.
Most people did bad.
Yeah, you're not saying that their comedy is bad. You're saying the show, the energy that happened in the room was bad.
Yeah.
It's nothing against anybody.
It was a tough crowd.
I
think hot girls are a tough crowd because they have guys at the peak of whatever game, like being hilarious with them all the time. But they also have lots of guys bombing, so they just like they have a good gauge for like someone putting a foot in their mouth. Like,
yeah, I mean that could be true, but I also think that it can go the other way around too. Like, is there anything better in your mind than hearing a girl laugh at what you said?
it's pretty fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good feeling, eh?
Yeah.
Now, this is where I'm gonna get. I'm feeling the Caesars a little bit.
How many?
I mean, only 2, but like.
Yeah.
I'm feeling them.
They might be 6.
Ooh, okay, so picture
5.5.
because I'm trying to reverse it and tell you my experience, like
Yeah.
performing for like hot guys.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, generally speaking, there's this stigma on female comics that women aren't funny. I'm not saying that all guys think that, but I'm saying
You never know who does.
But I'm saying that it's a little tougher for
out there.
us to make a hot guy laugh than for you to make a hot girl laugh. I'm gonna die on that hill. I'm planting my flag on that because I've talked to a bunch of female comics. I've talked to Kirsten, Adrian. I've talked to people who've been around and done a lot of shows.
So you think hot guys are more likely to be sexist?
No, not sexist.
But
I
think that female comics are bad and have that preconception and not like you.
I think that there's something I've seen, men. Oh God! I mean, we're 2 hours in. If you're hearing this, you deserve to hear it because you're a trooper. Okay, how can I say this? A lot of guys take smoke breaks during a female comics set.
I did it accidentally one night. I felt really bad. I did do it. I was like, oh shit, she was the only girl. Fuck.
Oh my God,
But
I'm dying.
I might.
I'm dying because you're such a sweetheart. Because you are actually really supportive
I
of women
didn't do
in
it on
comedy,
purpose. I swear.
I gotta say, but you're really supportive of women in the scene, and that's very
I mean,
refreshing.
not really. I just.
But you talk about them like, okay.
Everybody's equal in my mind.
But I've heard you say really good things about Tall, and like, it's just really nice to see that, because I do feel like it's a little bit challenging sometimes, like for men to like just hear us out, like just hear us out and listen to us like we are just another comic up there versus here's a girl who's gonna get up here and like it's tough. So I respect that, and it's very like I thank you for it, because it's nice to see.
It's weird. You shouldn't have to thank me. That should just be
right?
the normal
I
thing.
know.
Yeah. Well, like, how often have you, like, I know there's the vibe you get from male audience members. How often have you had guys say things that really shows their colors as the negative?
Pitting women against each other. You're better than this woman, and here's why. Why are you specifically targeting women? Why can't you say
why can't you compare it to the guy before?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why are there ladies' nights? Because women tend to feel safer up there with other women. There's women.
I think ladies' night has the benefit of, like, if you happen to be the only female comic on the lineup, then it's like, oh shit, if I have a lot of female-centric bits, people are going to see me and be like, of course.
Exactly.
Look at this.
And I had that on Sunday.
Exactly
I was the only female.
expected.
I was the only female on comedy.
Yeah, it's a weird pressure that anybody in a minority group has to deal with when they're on a lineup, yeah.
And also, it's just.
But I really liked Ladies' Night wasn't like that. Like,
yeah.
If the stereotype was true, Ladies' Night would have been a repetitive slog. But it wasn't. It was good.
Yeah.
It's just a comedy show.
Lots of variety, lots of different styles.
You know, Ladies' Night, I got into, I had to stand the entire time. I was leaning against the back wall, and we were standing. And then one by one, people started grabbing chairs. Scott, like, grabbed a chair. Yeah. And then there was a guy next to me. I don't know him, but there was a chair behind him, and he, like, took the chair and he, like, offered it to me. And I was like, okay. And then, but I didn't want to just sit, and then he's standing there. I'd feel like he's like a dominant, like, kind of imposing. I'd feel like a little baby. Like, my knees couldn't take it. I had to sit down. So I just looked at him, and then I took the chair and I offered it to him.
Aww.
And then we both just started cracking up laughing.
That's
and we
so funny.
We, like, laughed for, like, a really long time.
Like, gonna share custody of the chair throughout the fucking
show?
Or,
like, we both, it was like a nonverbal thing, like, I can stand.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I can stand too. I'm not sitting. There was a chair there, and we both offered to each other. But so then I was just like, well, now I got to stand the whole time. But he had like a podium thing, and he was like leaning on it.
Oh, wow.
Which I think gave him an advantage. And then I could only like lean against the wall.
I don't remember much from that night because I blacked out.
Like when you were on stage?
The whole, like, everything.
The whole night.
Like
I definitely blacked out my first set. I don't like have a recollection of it.
I truly do, and I didn't record it either. The very first time.
I didn't record it. It was just friends that I brought, and then comics, and I was like, okay. And it was so ironic because like friends would always be like, oh, you're gonna do stand up, try some stuff out on me. It's like, no, it's weird. It's not like that. You have to have an audience. There has to be other people. And then the first time I do it, it's literally, okay, now do what I just told you to do. Just tell me. I ended up.
That is weird.
But then there was comics I was trying to impress, and I don't think any of them laughed or anything. But like,
I hate that.
I killed with my
hate
friends.
That pressure.
And then, there used to be a DJ, Seth at Oasis. He was the guy who would like play music, and rarely there'd be interactions. Like sometimes comics would try too hard with him, but he was just cool as a cucumber, and he just like, if they were overreaching, he'd just be really like short with them, and like. But he would interject sometimes. It was a good amount. Like you could get overboard with that. That could get annoying. But he was fucking awesome.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And yeah, so he would play music when people came up. And then after the show, he was like, he like was very complimentary on my material. And it's like once you get like stage legs and get used to being on stage and getting some confidence, because that's the only thing holding you back. Like this is good material.
That's what it is
and
about
it was,
in the early days. Yeah.
Oh, first set getting like a positive one, like that's so encouraging.
So encouraging.
Might not even be here if it wasn't for that.
And honestly, like you did so well this past Sunday.
Yeah, they were a lot of my coworkers. I'm not saying they're fake laughing, but it's funnier to them because it's me saying that stuff.
Right.
But I am really proud of that. I got a good.
But you still did it,
yeah.
And it means that you could probably do it again.
As long as you channel I think that's a good set I put together there. I think the ending needs a little work, but that's like a good like showcase 7 minutes. Yeah. And hopefully it would do just as good on other mics. But the thing is, I can't just keep doing that. Like it's such a tiny scene. you kind of have to have ADD with your material and have a.
Oh my god, you're
and
so fucking
come
right.
with some new shit.
You're really just like
You kind of just have
talking to all my insecurities.
to treat
right
it like
now.
a full-time, like treat it like a job. Like that's a lot of like what I hear Seinfeld talking about. He's got a calendar. He fucking marks an X every time he writes, and he writes every day, and he just sits down and.
It's wild.
I mean, this is probably in his heyday. He kind of rested on his laurels, I think. Laurels.
Laurels?
Yeah.
Can I psychologically analyze you
Absolutely.
with a couple questions?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard this on the show before.
I have. Yeah, I know exactly where
fuck.
you're going.
God damn it. I should have known. But we're going to do it anyway.
All right.
So your favorite animal. And 3 things about that animal as to why it's your...
I don't even know. Whatever. I don't have one, really.
Shut up. Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Like, whatever I picked right now, it won't be my favorite animal. It'll just be whatever animal popped into my mind when I'm 4
that's such
Caesars
an
and
Albert
unintoxicated.
Coombs response. Albert, when I asked him this, he went, well, I don't know, a monkey? Because they do magic?
I think I'll go with a bonobo because it's our closest a bonobo because we're equally related to bonobos as chimpanzees, but the big difference is bonobos are nearly endangered and they're way more peaceful and it's a fuck fest all over the place with bonobos. Chimps are violent assholes that get in wars with other tribes. Bonobo tribes, they just have a big orgy and everybody raises kids. They don't know whose is whose, so they're nice to all the babies. And like I think the mothers just like get their friends to fuck her son all the time, and it's just a big fuck fest. And I want to be one.
What I take? Okay.
And they don't have them in zoos because they fuck like people, and it creeps people out.
So peaceful.
Yeah.
Fuck fest.
Peaceful fuck fest.
What's one more thing about bonobos that you like? Their resilience.
I don't know about their resilience.
Yeah,
they're
I
just
kind of
friendly.
made that up.
They're friendly.
Okay, friendly. That works. Favorite article of clothing?
Probably a shirt like this that's like
Jesus Christ. You're Albert Coombs!
Long
Albert said the same fucking thing! What's going on with you two?
Men are just basic animals.
Albert! Ooh, I like this sweater because of the way it feels and the
No, this is my go-to. See, I don't like showing off my upper arms because I have a fucking complexion of a white trash person, but I have a decently hairy forearm, so I like a shirt that covers up the upper arm that I'm insecure about, but it'll still show the shape, and then the arm hair, and that's
covers
my go-to.
insecurities.
Yeah.
What else about the shirt? Other than like the area that it covers.
I never thought this deeply about clothing before. What else do I like about this shirt? I don't know. It fucking fits.
Okay.
The color scheme.
Is it reliable?
Yeah, this shirt's reliable.
Is it comfortable?
Yeah. I wear this at home or out on a date.
Versatile.
Versatile.
Favorite body of water?
The Sydney Harbor.
Okay. Why?
Because it was right down my street, so I'm most used to looking at it.
It's
a cesspool. It's where all our shit goes. This is gonna make me look fucked. I don't actually remember the exact outcomes of what happens, but I don't think I'll be a normal person.
This works great.
It's that might be
local. It's familiar.
nostalgic.
Nostalgic.
I once had a nightmare that a friend drove me right into it, and then we drowned in the car.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's
Not to death. I just remember watching it and be like, because it was like, so the dream was this is deep. I don't even remember.
Rogan. Are you okay with Rogan length?
Oh,
you're a listener. Are you okay with longer episodes?
Pumped with Rogan.
Okay,
length.
I'm okay to keep going. If
that
you
means
are.
I can do Rogan.
Okay, then we can keep going. If you want to keep going, like we can Rogan this.
I want to break the record, but I don't want you to get sick of me.
What's the longest episode I've done?
I don't know either. I'm not that big of a fan.
Okay, well we'll keep going. Okay, so what was the dream? Actually, can I pee first?
Yeah, I gotta pee too.
Okay, well I'm gonna go first because I'm a girl.
Okay, does this get cut out or do I gotta hold the whole show? Yeah, it's way too much pressure. What's going on? Do you like the Caesars? Yeah, I like them too. I'm gonna chug this real quick. Oh, and get another one. There's pickled beans I got cans. I thought 4 wasn't enough, so I got 6 tall boys of the pickled bean variety. And it doesn't sound like you're gonna drink them all. It's a little late now. I'm getting drunk. I've never seen the hurting thing until texting you and all the reactions to messages. I was so confused.
Just the idea of someone seeing the laugh reaction or heart reaction.
What is this? Because it popped up as Sarah McLachlan laughed at and then quotes my text, and I was, what is this?
Oh my god, that's funny.
Can you only do that on iPhone? iPhone? Do you have an iPhone?
An iPhone. Okay, what were we talking about? We were talking about your dream about driving.
Oh yeah.
We were on the body of water subject.
Okay, so
see how much of a pro I am? I remember.
That is pretty good. I wouldn't have. So yeah, I grew up next to these 2 guys. They were my next door neighbors, and they were older. So I always was in a friend group with 2-year senior kids, which is a big deal when you're really young. That's a big gap. 2 years, and then his brother was 3 years. And so they would get into wild shit sometimes, and they're kind of troublemakers. And I kind of got bullied by that friend group a little bit, but whatever. It's a thick skin. I can get my balls busted, and I'm fine. Yeah, I pride myself in my ability to take ball busting. Anyway, so in the dream, it was the younger brother neighbor who got in the drive. The older brother was driving. He might have been 15, and the guy was 13 or something. But I was 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't do math right now.
Yeah, that's
fine. And
just guess.
And so the older one was driving, and then the younger one was like, I want to drive. And he's like, no, you're not driving. He's like, I want to drive. And then he gets in the driver's seat, and the older brother's like, watch this. He's going to put it right into the harbor. Mm-hmm. And then that's what happened next. And then wild. I was just watching my street floating, and I just I should have read the signs and not get in.
Yeah, I've had a lot.
For some reason, it's not that crazy of a dream. It's not a good story dream or anything.
No, I don't think so.
But that's just I only remember 2 or 3 dreams from childhood.
But remember this:
and it's weird.
Every time you have a dream about water always equals emotion. In dreams, so
that I felt the meaning of that dream was that I should heed the warning signs. He said it would go. He said his brother was so stupid he'd drive it right into the harbor, and that's exactly what happened. And I should have got out of the car.
I've had a lot of dreams about being in the backseat of a car with no driver, and the car is driving itself, and it's driving backwards out of my control. And I take that to mean, in my waking life, I always want to be in the driver's seat, and it's a fear of mine to not have control.
I had the opposite dream.
Really?
A fear where I would. It was when I was younger, before I started driving, and it was a reoccurring nightmare where just somehow I would find myself driving a car and not knowing how to drive a car and not knowing where I'm going and being completely lost and stranded and just what the fuck do I do next? And I don't know how to drive. And then scary. It went away once I started driving.
I hate driving, by the way. I'm actually driving my sister to the airport tomorrow morning. She's going away for 2 weeks, and I get her car for 2 weeks, so I have a car for 2 weeks. So
you don't have a lot of practice driving. You don't drive regularly.
I don't drive regularly because since moving to Halifax, I haven't had a car, right? So
have you only ever driven in Antigonish?
I've driven in Halifax, but because I have access to my sister's car, just not a lot.
Yeah, it's good to have practice, but it could be a little intimidating if you come from a smaller place.
Oh, I'm you don't know about my
I forget
fear of
that
cars. I'm scared of all cars.
I kind of had a fear of because I've totaled 2 cars.
What?
Yeah, I one was when I was a teenager, and it was just a dark road, and it was windy, and I just didn't turn enough, and then my wheel caught onto the gravel and just fucking. And then it just went.
Did it roll?
It went to the ditch, and it was all fucked up. And then
That's not totaled though.
It's it wasn't sellable.
I
It was
I'm
total.
Like, I'm like, that's not badass enough.
But like the next week we were drinking or something. We got a cab back to the house that I was coming from, and the cab driver just out of nowhere was like, "Oh yeah, a ton of people drive off here and die, like right here,
Holy
right off this
shit.
bridge." And it was like the next turn or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then I crashed again. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh
but,
my god, crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't like I crashed into like a rock or something. So I'm kind of a bad driver. But
but at least you haven't collided into other cars.
no, I've never
yet.
victimized anybody.
That's good.
Knock on wood.
I'm like a crippling fear of getting hit by a car.
Well, I had a recurring nightmare of being on a rainy road and then I'm in a car that's just going in circles uncontrollably, and I'm never sure when the shoe's gonna drop and I'm gonna crash into something and fucking die or be paralyzed or something.
Jesus.
But it just keeps on going and going and going and going to like a cartoonishly long time. But that's stopped. Weed really suppresses dreams.
Yeah, I hear that. I don't really like that about it. I like dreaming.
I've smoked like 2 grams on this podcast right now, so like
I like dreaming.
that's why I don't dream anymore.
Dreaming takes me away from real life, which I hate.
I sometimes if you smoke weed a lot and then you block your dreams and then you stop, your dreams come back with a vengeance and they're like
shit.
almost psychedelic, and I actually kind of love it.
Okay,
it's
so
fun.
do you? Okay, this is a general question I have for you. Do you believe in like? Do you believe in like the paranormal, like another realm of being? Like, do you believe in ghosts at all?
Not really. I haven't had any personal experiences, and that's kind of my litmus test. Like, I need to encounter it, but if I did, I think I would probably start to believe in ghosts.
So you're open to them, but you're
yeah,
not. You're,
like I'm
you're
open
not like
to
a
anything.
no.
Like, there's some things you just can't know, and like I'm agnostic with God. I'm agnostic with ghosts, but also I'm not gonna believe people's ghost stories, and I find that kind of awkward when like someone tells me a ghost story and they're like, "So you believe in ghosts now?" And I'm like, "No, I still don't." So you think I'm crazy or a liar? Either one.
You're a gaslighter or a liar.
Yeah. So I also don't want to have to just pretend to completely have a transformation in my view of the cosmos and death.
Has anything
Because
weird?
I'm not that good at acting. I can't be like, holy shit, I believe in ghosts now. What?
To be
I'm
honest,
not gonna lie.
I was mostly curious because you've had a sister die and a father die, and I was wondering if you've ever had any like weird experiences with like feeling their presence, or like I don't know. I've been thinking about mediums lately because I was thinking about getting a medium to come on the show. To like I'm just fascinated by that whole.
I'm skeptical of them. I think they do like background checks on people and creep them on social media, and they go. I think they do deep research.
What about the ones that only book by phone?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't believe in mediums. I think they are very skilled at feeling people out and like being investigators.
Like they're very empathetic. They read people.
They can read people, and a lot of people who seek mediums are willing to give them a lot of benefit of the doubt and forgive a lot. But like, I don't know. I
say this as being one of them.
Oh, really?
I have like this weird addiction to pick a card readings, which are like these things on YouTube that are like, it'll ask a question. Most times it's like, how does he feel about me? Am I still on his mind? It's always about like they're clearly targeting women who are like trying to get over someone, or like, like unrequited love, like all of that.
The internet's always just trying to figure you out. And I always find it's like kind of insulting, the stuff that like, really the only internet I consume is like YouTube. Which is pretty shitty. It's junk food.
No, I think it is.
Yeah.
It is, like, okay, in the grand scheme of things, like if we're talking media consumption of like, you could watch a Netflix
I don't even
documentary.
watch the news, but I watch just like reaction videos on YouTube.
I do too. That's me as well. But we need a break from the world is shitty. We need a break from it, and that's what YouTube is. I think.
I haven't been paying attention at all. Like never. I've watched Donald Trump talk. Like I've decided like I'm gonna see what Donald Trump's saying right now, and it was a live stream, and it's the first time I've ever done it, and it was him addressing like COVID or something in like the peak of it.
Right.
And it was just him like, and it was just so fucking pathetic.
Oh yeah, totally.
And then the journalists are just like snippy, and they're just like poking him, and he's just like, oh, our testing's amazing. I can't do a voice or whatever. But he's bragging about the testing. And it just gave me, it's like the 4 years of anxiety that everybody's felt watching Trump. And I've just been completely like ignorance is bliss, ignoring any form of news. Trump's never really bothered me. I'm like, he doesn't look ideal. But other than that, whatever. It's not in my control.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Stoicism.
Yeah. So like, but then I watched that video and it's like all those 4 years of anxiety, just like, oh my God, what an incompetent leader to be in the most powerful country in the world. Like it just hit me like a fucking train. I was like, no more news for me.
No, it's fair. I get overwhelmed by it too. Especially like,
I'm not going to do anything to fix it.
At the start of the pandemic, when like, especially with coronavirus stuff, like,
oh, the coronavirus pandemic? I thought you were talking about swine flu.
That one. The one that
I thought you were talking about H1N1.
The one that we're currently in. I can't, all the information, misinformation, like I just can't deal with it.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that either.
I just do what I can for myself. But that's all we can do really as people. Like, just be concerned with us. You know? Like, screw everybody else. Okay, body of water. You said it was the lake.
No, you know what?
The thing down the street?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Fuck it.
The thing. I don't even remember.
It's a harbor. It's where our shit goes.
Where the shit goes. It's nostalgic. One more thing about it. One more.
It's blue. It's fucking blue. It manages to be blue and not brown, despite all the poop in it.
Okay. If you were in a white room, all white, how would you feel about that?
I'd see it as an opportunity to meditate, and then I'd probably go insane after I was done that for 10 minutes. I'd be optimistic at first, and then I think it would probably get to me.
Optimistic at first. Would you say peaceful at first, too? Because you said peaceful.
Maybe not at first, but yeah, eventually I think I could get to a tranquil state of mind. It just like, if I knew how long it was going to last, if it was just indefinite, like a questionable name. But if it was like, you're in solitary confinement for 2 days, I think I'd be like, okay, I can do this. 2 days, just me.
Anxious?
I would probably feel anxious, but I think I would be excited also to, but that's a big if. If it was like, you have 2 days in here. If it was like, it might be forever, I'd probably just fucking try to kill myself.
Okay, so maybe not great. Okay. Okay, so your favorite animal feels like it was a year ago that we did this. Bonobo.
Yeah.
This is your favorite animal is how you view yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said peaceful.
A peaceful sex addict.
Fuck fest.
There's no truth to this. This is a dumb test.
Friendly. I can see that.
I think I'm friendly. There's no fuck fest going on.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's what you said about, so that's how you view yourself.
Okay.
Your favorite article of clothing, which was the t-shirt.
It's not a t-shirt. It's a little longer than a t-shirt.
Okay, whatever.
It's a baseball shirt.
Fuck? Okay, that's actually, I'm making intoxicated baseball shirts. I'm making merch soon.
Are you? You should know your shit, merch seller.
It's
you merchant. You're gonna be a merchant. You don't even know a baseball shirt.
Baseball shirt, 3/4 length sleeve. I know what I'm talking about.
Better look good, or I'm not buying it. Most merch looks like shit.
There's different colors. I think it's just gonna be simple, just the logo.
Simple, yeah.
I think it's just gonna be the logo.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how others view you.
I don't even remember what the middle thing was.
So you said it covers your insecurities.
So people cover my insecurities?
So people think you cover your insecurities.
Fuck yeah, until they see this.
So maybe people think, do you think, okay, this is a convoluted question. Do you think that people think you're guarded?
Yeah. Probably.
There you go.
I'm pretty guarded, I think.
Reliable. Comfortable and versatile.
I'm comfortable and versatile, semi-reliable.
I feel like you're someone who could like I could be like, hey, do you want to come hang out and like just have a night in, watch some stupid shit on the internet, you'd be down for that, but you'd also be down for
literally
a night out.
Anything.
You're down for anything.
Anything anybody wants to do.
Aw.
I mean, until I experience it once, and if I don't like it, then I might not do it again.
There you go.
But I'll try anything once.
I like that. Body of water is your views on sex.
It's just full of shit. It's just all shitty.
Where all our shit goes.
Yeah. Oh, I'll exclusively
was
do
one thing
anal.
You said nostalgic. You're only 23.
It reminds me of when I got fucked in the kid as an ass. Fucked in the ass as a kid. I said fucked in the kid as an ass.
And manages to be blue.
I have a sad, shitty sex life that brings me back to the past. That's not accurate at all.
Yeah, no, that one's a little bit weird.
That's a little weird. That's the one I felt the most unconnected to. That answer was kind of for
honestly,
fun.
I think with that question, you have to be more general. Like, think of like a river, a lake,
Usually,
ocean.
you know what? That question, it's probably bullshit psychology anyway. But what it's gearing you towards, like, oh, this lake, I went skinny dipping in it. It's like, oh, you're like an exhibitionist sexually. That's probably what people have in mind. They're not expecting people to say a fucking harbor.
No,
And try to make a wisecrack
harbor.
on a podcast.
I think if it's more general, like, so for example, like my favorite. Okay, what is my favorite body of water? Maybe a lake or something.
I might actually, if thought about it more genuinely, probably like the water by the Bible camp that we went.
Oh, okay. Was it a lake or a river, ocean?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
It was a lake.
Pond?
It was a lake.
Was it a swamp?
It was a lake.
It's a lake. See, I was gonna say lake too, and the reason I was gonna say lake was the ocean is too unpredictable for me. I like a lake because it's steady. And it is a little more calm.
So you just like missionary.
But actually, that's not true at all for me sexually.
Yeah, I don't think that one holds true.
That one out of all of them is a weird one. Okay, the White Room.
What's that?
Is how you view death, which was weird because you had conflicting. So you said you would be optimistic at first, you would feel tranquil, anxious, or excited, depending on the length of time that you'd be there.
Well, if someone's only dead for a weekend, like, I don't really care.
And then I just wrote not great. So
What's not great? Oh, like the White Room overall?
yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
wouldn't feel great.
Maybe if a couple people die, if everyone I know dies, might as well
Jesus.
just kill myself. Well,
Oh.
that's the parallel with the Room. If it's infinite amount of time, then fucking end it.
Well, how do you
Fuck
feel?
this.
Okay,
That would be the equivalent. Is like everybody I know dies.
here would be a more direct question. How do you feel about your own death? Do you ever think about that? Or no?
I don't know. Not a whole lot. I'm not worried about it. I mean, the standout thing with my sister that everybody tells me is just she handled it like a fucking champ. And just kind of like, yeah, I guess it's me this time. It could have been some kid in Yemen, but it was me. And apparently it was inspiration. Like a bunch of fucking nurses got tattoos for her and everything. And so she did it well, and I hope I do it well. But I don't know. It's a high bar. I'm trying to make Sarah cry right now.
That's so sweet.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, that's the. Oh, God, that got me going. Fuck you. Fuck you, John.
You wanted to be fucking personal. There you go.
Oh, man, that's really. And to be that optimistic at a young age, too. Like, that's the kicker right there. I feel like.
I've just been waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, I've been like, I should have been depressed by now. Like, what's taking it so long? But kind of looking at stoicism, maybe I just handled it well. Like,
it could be
I have never considered that.
Pain doesn't have to be what we envision. Like, we envision pain, someone who's going through pain as, like, the person who's crying all the time or, like, doesn't get out of bed or, like, lets their life go. And it's like, that's not true. Like, people deal with pain in different ways. And some people, it's just very much so internal and not outwards, I guess, would be like, I don't know.
I don't even think I'm aware of my own pain or like how it manifests itself. So like maybe my bad habits or like whatever, like I probably just don't understand myself. I'm so young and shit. Like
you are very young.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
yeah.
honestly quite wise and mature for your age. So like,
Yeah, I think
that's a good sign. That means that you're only gonna get better. Like going forward.
I hope so. Yeah, it's a head start. I'm honestly thankful for those trials.
That's right. The experiences. Because did you find, because you were only 5 when your sister died. You were how old when your dad died? 16?
16, yeah. So there's a benchmark moments, and I think mortality is probably like the biggest issue you have to grapple with as a human. It's something very uniquely to humans is
that's right.
knowing about our mortality.
That's right.
So that's like kind of the base problem that everybody deals with all the time. And I'm not saying like I have it figured out, but like I have some experience and something to compare other deaths to, and just because it's a constant thing in your life. People and animals, pets, things are always just dying. That's just the fucking taxes thing. Taxes and death are like the only thing you get. Promise.
And that thing is put on us either later in life. Like for me, like I had my grandmother die when I was really young. And then I had my other grandmother die when I was a bit older, and that impacted me. And then really since her, it's just been my friend who died back in March. And it's like, it's going to happen to you at different stages. Like for you, it happened really fucking young, 5 years old.
Yeah. Someone say too young.
Wildly young. And then you've had your dad die. You've had a friend die recently. Like, it's just, it's weird how that can shape you. You know, like
yeah, and I think it's for the better, but I don't know. I haven't. It's far too deep of a thing to say like now I write great jokes about death. Like no, of course not. I'm not nearly skilled enough to do that. But maybe someday.
Maybe someday, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel that. I'm already trying to think of jokes, mostly because my friend who died was a comedian, and I just keep thinking like, what would he think of all of this going on right now?
What with you?
Like just everything. What's going on with the scene and like all these open mics and all these newbies and like it's so hard for me not to picture his voice commenting.
There's a huge
on what's happening.
Huge paradigm shift, and there's a huge vacuum that he left behind. Everything's in flux right now.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's truly it's very exciting. I'm also very scared. Because I feel like with Corona and everything, it could get taken away again. And
I'm prepared for that.
And that's good that you're prepared. I feel like we can't get too excited.
We got to think what we're going to do creatively. We just, if you like have stand up in your bones, then you're just a creative person. That has a lot of downsides. Like, because you'll get depressed if you're not expressing yourself creatively. And a lot of times creative pursuits are not very fruitful. Profitable. Yeah. They're not fruitful endeavors.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a blessing and a curse to be creative. Most of the time it doesn't work out well.
It's insane that like, and I love it because I do it, but it's insane that people spend so much time on jokes and making a set list and crafting it and then like doing it and literally you're literally just doing it for the thrill of doing it.
It's all for the sake of it now. That's the beauty of the early scene.
Open micers aren't getting money for every 3 minutes that they do.
No,
like they're not. They literally are doing it for the love of doing it. And stand up is not kind. It's not a kind. It's gonna weed out people that aren't strong enough for it.
Yeah. I have to wonder, like, do you need to be starving to death to have success in comedy? Do you need that drive to be like, I have to make this work or I'll be homeless and dead?
I often wonder that because I do think that there is something to that motivation. Mm-hmm. The person who's literally like doesn't have a day job and is just throwing themselves into comedy. Because I do think, let's say you do have a day job, let's say it's an intense one. Where's your energy going at the end of the day? Like, will you have the energy to work on the art of stand-up? Like,
yeah,
this involves writing. This involves practicing. This involves going out to open mics late at night. It's tough.
The lower your standards of living are, the higher your chances are of succeeding. You have to make a lot of sacrifices.
There's a lot of
sacrifices. If you really want to make it, and some people decide they're not going to make it, but it's still worth doing.
That's right. Yes.
And that's perfectly respectable.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool hobby.
I think the ideal.
Not everybody has to be like have giant aspirations. It's like every really young comic has them.
Yeah.
Because of course they're young comic. They're the ones that have the most potential. But the more you age, the more potential you lose based on what decisions you made or didn't make. And at some point, it's like, okay, well, I might not make it, but it's still fun.
It's kind of like what I really liked about my friend who passed away, Andrew. Like, he had very simple goals for himself. He never talked about, like, I want to have an HBO special, or I want to be on this late night talk show, or I want to get on Joe Rogan. Like, he never had goals like that.
Mm-hmm.
His goal was, I want to make some albums, and I want to tour consistently and make money off of stand-up consistently. Those were his goals.
That's doing it for the art of it.
And that was him.
That's
like,
a creative person.
Yeah.
Wants to express themselves in arts. Those are my only goals right now.
Yeah.
But once I get to that point, the goals will just keep on going.
Exactly.
Up. Like, no one will ever be satisfied with anything.
No.
But if you are just completely satisfied at a certain level, like, that's probably true success, no matter what level it is.
That's very true.
If you're like thriving and happy, then that's better than like having all the fame, but with all the baggage that comes with it.
So much baggage. Like, there's so much to the business side of comedy. Like, I hear a lot of comics talk about how, like, they love comedy, but they hate the business of it. And yeah, I think this new kind of generation of comics is very interesting because they're growing up with social media. They're accustomed to it. You see comics like Andrew Schultz,
yeah, he did a lot on YouTube and like kind of blew up there with Crowdworks.
But look at that. Like he used the internet to his advantage.
Yeah, well, Dane Cook was the one who started that with MySpace.
Yeah.
He blew up because of MySpace.
Yeah. So like you can either look at social media and go, fuck that, I don't want to do that. Or you can go, well, this is just another avenue for me to put my stand-up, to put myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's only going to help you. I truly don't think it would ever hurt you to have like
of course. I
like
definitely
an online
believe
presence.
That. And the only reason I don't have any online presence is just procrastination.
Yeah.
And ADD and like not wanting to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I haven't ever participated in social media. I don't fucking care about other people's lives.
It's
I never
honestly,
have.
it's pretty evil.
I'm probably just a narcissist and like I don't
think,
care who's going on vacation somewhere.
I do think it sucks, but I think that there's an art to it where you could still do it and have it not.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being on Instagram. Literally all my friends are just people in the Halifax comedy scene, so it's just like I just see pictures of like Catherine's kid or like
that's right,
just people doing shit, and it's just
and
I like that.
That's key right there. What you expose yourself to on there.
It's all just people in my community.
Yeah.
So it's because I'm so small. It's just literally just me and the Halifax comics is all I see on Instagram.
Because you can control who you
once
follow.
It expands bigger and there's like followers from other places, that's when it's gonna get weird but exciting. Like the only thing I don't like about social media, like I've always had a Facebook, but like never really used it. But like
Facebook sucks.
That's all I really know.
It's the worst one.
And I quit it like when I was like 14, and then never went back. And it was just I didn't care about people I grew up with, fucking gossip and shit. So I've never actually taken advantage of social media. It's not because I like was addicted to it and quit. It was not a noble thing. Like I'm going to abstain from. It's just literally laziness. Like,
and I think
I really should have long ago.
I actually think when you look at people like Andrew Schultz, like he's cultivated such a great online presence, but he's doing it with people who are also doing the same thing. So like he's kind of in this little community of people who do that, and that makes him do it. So like if a lot of people don't like social media. I would say like most of the Halifax comics fucking hate it.
Yeah. They're not very...
You know, they're like that's not to say that they're bad at it, but I'm saying that they probably don't enjoy it. You can tell when someone doesn't enjoy it. You can tell.
That's what sucks about stand up is you need like business skills combined with these like creative skills, and it's like
that's right.
You have to have a miracle of a person who's like master of both. They're probably better at one, worse at the other.
Yep. But I mean, listen, trying like putting a fucking show poster on your Instagram, that's fucking something, and that's better than nothing. You know?
I just want like, it would just be weird. I'm just advertising to people who are all going to the show anyway. I need other followers.
Yeah.
But how do you get other followers?
Well, you can get followers. You don't necessarily have to follow them back, right? Like, so they could follow you, and
I
like
follow back everybody who follows me.
You could just be like, oh, well, I don't really want to see your shit, so I'm not gonna follow you.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's hard. Like, I think you just gotta post a lot of stuff. Like, hashtags are good. Also, going in and following other people for them to follow you back, that's a way to get them. Like, a lot of people who do like Instagram marketing, all they do all day is just interact with other accounts. So
I got like solicited for business advice recently by some like lady from the UK.
What?
Yeah. She was like,
what was she saying?
I don't even understand what she said. She said a bunch of business mumbo jumbo, and she's basically like, "Trust me with your finances." I was like, "No, what are you fucking talking about?"
I actually,
you're a complete stranger from another. I was like, "How'd you even find me?" I have 2 posts. I have 2 posts and like 36 followers.
I'm working on a joke that's like, I get a lot of interaction on Instagram. But oddly enough, they all say the same thing. They all tell me how I can get more followers. Because it's all these spam accounts being like, you could get more followers.
I'm not big enough to have spam accounts come at me. And fucking some lady from the UK wants me to be a business partner with her. I Googled her. I couldn't find her.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know you, and you're from another continent. This reeks of scam. And then I blocked her.
I just love that you responded. That's really funny.
That is pretty cute and naive that I responded. But it was like, ooh, a pretty lady from the United Kingdom likes my picture of me holding a microphone. That's exciting. But
all of it is so fake. All of it is so fucking fake. And like the influencer culture is very... I actually really want to get an influencer on the podcast just to talk to them, to be like,
that's such a creepy profession. Why
what is
the fact that they're called that is...
Yeah.
Don't drive under the influence.
Well,
it's like a such a negative connotation.
But you gotta think though, like their job,
the youth.
Their job is their personality. So
to sell things,
along with YouTubers, I would say influencers, like Instagram influencers and YouTubers, actually, I think this is a hot take, have one of the most stressful jobs. Because literally they need to be documenting their whole lives all the time.
That's a pretty fucked way to make money.
And it definitely is.
Have you ever met someone like that? That's their profession? I bet they'd be weird as fuck. Probably way weirder than like celebrities and actors and shit.
Well, yeah, because I mean, imagine getting paid. Like, imagine that your paycheck revolves around you showcasing to people that you love this thing that they're giving you. You know, here's a water bottle. We're gonna give you so much money, but you gotta pump this thing out on your social media. And so you arrange these shoots, these photo shoots with this water bottle, and that's your job. You know,
just to hold something.
But you get so much money. They get so much money.
What do they?
A lot.
What do they do outside of holding a water bottle for content?
They need to be connecting with their audience. They need to be posting.
Okay.
If you're not posting, you're
just like what they're doing every day and stuff. And it's got to be like a clever joke.
Their life. And I mean, you know, I would say most of them, it's the highlights reel. They're not posting the bad shit.
Yeah, it's to make people depressed about how shitty their lives are, right?
Right? And that's the cycle. So that's why I want to talk to an influencer. Just be like, what's your opinion on this?
You probably won't get one to be real with you about it, because if that's really the case, then they're going to keep it under wraps.
Well, I would say, like, I'm following a couple. One is quite candid with her life.
Really?
Like with her, especially like sexuality stuff. Like, she recently came out on Instagram stories. Like,
so
came out on doing a video on Instagram.
Is she one that holds products
Yep.
and gets money for them? Wow, okay.
So I'm thinking about asking her. Come on.
So she just amassed a bunch of followers somehow, and then she's
mean,
now a revenue stream.
Let's be frank. Most of them are model types.
Yeah.
With good cameras.
Hot ladies and shit, whatever.
You gotta be. Here's the formula for I think influencer beginner: hot with a good body. And you need to either have a really nice camera and know how to take good photos, or you have a lot of photographer friends who take photos of you. I want to bust these myths with an influencer on the show. I want to just be like,
how depressing is it going to be like one of those girls, and then like when they get too old, and then age is such a tragically depreciating asset for women.
Thank you for saying it.
And then men, it's the opposite.
You guys age much better than us.
Like I'm going to struggle as a 23-year-old, but probably 50 I'm going to be in my stride. Right when my dick stops working is when I'm going to be my hottest.
Even that, there's pills for it. You guys are fine.
Yeah. But I mean, if you can't get wet, there's lube. So that's even easier
but
than a
we can't
pill.
have babies after a certain age or after.
Well, that's all. Yeah, I guess that's a big. Yeah, that's pretty unfair. That sucks.
You're like, shit, I can come in a bitch whenever, but you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking eggs aren't in the carton. we run out of these things. I really want to save up to get a fertility test just to see where I'm at.
How would you like society to be structured? Like in a perfect world, it doesn't have to be fair to men, but like what would it take to even the playing field on the fact that women have that burden of like they're the ones that got to carry the kids, they have a limited time to do it. Guys, like they'll age like wine into their older years, and they're come like lasts, and then women, it's like. Yeah, once you're around that time, like you got to shit or get off the pot, and men have more time. Like it's so unfair. Like what would it take to make that?
I truly don't know. I mean, I think that we have to make strides towards obviously like overall equality, whether that's like equal pay for women, equal opportunities for women. Like that needs to come into play. I don't know. I don't have the answers. It's because the biological stuff we can't fucking.
Yeah.
It's biology.
If
like,
we eliminated every ounce of sexism in every person, which is impossible, it still wouldn't equalize it.
No. And I think that like I truly want to believe that we are moving in a positive direction, especially with things like
we're definitely working on it.
The Me Too movement.
It's in production.
And like teaching the younger generation about consent, like shit like that. It's a pretty fucking hopeless time currently. I do have some hope for it. Whitney Cummings has this theory that younger men, and she's 36, 37, something like that. She has a theory that younger men are actually far more respectful than men in their 40s because they're growing up with seeing women in the stronger light than, say, a 42-year-old man did.
Yeah, it's not that weird to me. Like because my mom was the provider.
There you go.
My mom was so like the thing, women working and like having money, like that's not strange to me at all.
Exactly.
My dad was completely dependent on my mom. Mm-hmm. My mom took care of her. She was like. Yeah, she was the breadwinner.
She was the breadwinner.
Yeah, he was like a secretary at a college. And so, like, he got disability leave, so he was getting income. But yeah, my mom was like,
and see, for me, it was certainly the opposite. Like, and I can imagine men in their 40s at this point.
Yeah, whatever upbringing they had
they probably didn't grow up with that.
It's radically different than now. They're like a fish out of water.
And I'm not saying that older men aren't respectful, but I'm just saying younger men have been exposed to this resurgence of women.
We grew up in this world, yeah.
You did. So
I'm not a millennial, actually.
You're what?
I'm not even a millennial.
You're younger than that?
Mm-hmm. I think
what generation are you?
Gen Z.
Oh, okay.
Someone say I generation, but I think that sounds fucking stupid. Almost said the R word there. Whoops. I forgot people hate that now. One time I said that in front of someone from Halifax, like
oh, really?
And my girlfriend, who was also from Cape Breton, like apologized. Like, he's from Cape Breton. I'm sorry. Like, he didn't know. That's just what they said.
Well, that word only up until like I remember.
It's very recent.
Very recent, yeah. I had a friend who quite early on in our friendship like made us stop saying that word because this is dark, but she got in a car accident with her brother, and her brother was pretty much paralyzed from it his whole life. And so like she hammered that home with us. Don't say that word. Don't say that word.
Yeah, it's a raw nerve.
But yeah, certainly it's newer to not say that. There was certainly a time where it was normal to say that word. Even the Black Eyed Peas have that song. Do you know Black Eyed Peas? Oh my God.
Let's get
it
started in
here.
Yeah.
There you go. Like they had that song with that word in it for the longest time.
Oh, did you ever see Hot Tub Time Machine? They say the spicy version of the song, and it's that was that time of comedy, so Hot Tub Time Machine, that genre, like that raunchiness of like that's kind of sparked with like Superbad and The Hangover. This Is the End is like the last one of those.
It was, yeah, it truly was. But I love that.
That was like the climax of those type of movies. That was their end game. Their Marvel end game.
One of my favorite things to do is browse Netflix for hours for something to watch and always watch This Is the End. I don't know, it has really good rewatch value.
It does, yeah.
It's like that scene.
It's just stupid, funny.
So stupid, but I fucking love it so much. Like that scene where he like takes the gun and he's like, oh, the gun. And he's like playing with the gun and like pretending to like almost shoot the gun. It's one of the funniest things.
Who did that?
Seth Rogen.
Oh, I don't even remember that part.
I think it was Seth Rogen in that scene. Was it?
Was it Fat Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The better one.
Yeah, agreed. Oh man, Wolf of Wall Street Seth Rogen was fat as fuck. That movie was awesome. Ooh, you never seen that movie?
No, I haven't seen Wolf of Wall Street. I haven't seen what's that other one Leonardo was in recently? Hollywood.
The Quentin Tarantino Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, I haven't seen that. But I am seeing Twister at a drive-in movie theater on
Twister,
Saturday
the
night.
90s movie, but the
playing
tornado?
They're playing it at a drive-in on Saturday night.
Ooh,
and I have a car,
I hope
so
there's
I'm
a
going.
tornado that night.
I'm so you have no idea how pumped I am.
Do you like watch it? Do you hate watch it? Is it like
no? I
fun
love
movie?
Twister.
Really?
I love like any natural disaster movies, end of the world movies.
And Twister's the best one to
Cloverfield
you?
is one of my favorite movies.
What about the new Cloverfield movie with John Goodman?
It's a good one.
Is that good?
I enjoy it, but it's not.
It's not the same.
The original, because they're not really connected, eh? Like
No.
they're.
Yeah, it isn't the first one like a found footage one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fucking movies, honestly.
Really?
Like I would put it up there.
Interesting.
Oddly enough, yeah, I really enjoy.
Do you watch a lot of movies? Are you a
Not
movie buff?
anymore. Not
No.
anymore.
I have a huge collection.
Do you really?
I used to work at a hardware store. It was the best job I've ever fucking had.
Aw.
Minimum wage job at a hardware store. I would like the best part was going on deliveries. I'd go on a truck and I'd just sit in the passenger seat, and then we just unload like a whole deck package or like lug drywall upstairs. It was like hard physical labor. And that mentally for like a growing teenage man boy is like
it's good.
It's healthy. Yeah, it was fun.
You're not stressed. It's hard on your body, but you're not stressed.
Oh man, it's the best. Physical labor is so nice. Like
Really?
if a physical labor
Getting
job
sore from it.
No, cuz I was like healthy. If you're not healthy, it fucking sucks. Like every other like old guy who's been there for a long time is like, get the fuck out of here.
That's hilarious.
Like make something of your life. But like at the time, it was like, this is sweet. I'm getting like minimum wage, which is like when you're just living with your parents and you're like, I was like 15 years old or something, and then I was getting like a couple $100.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, I had like the most money because I was the only one with a job. Like I got it really early.
So funny that like because when you think of like your best job that you've had, it's always when you were younger.
Yeah.
Like I worked at a wedding reception hall for a summer right before I started college. And like it was one of my favorite jobs ever because I would just make rum and cokes for old men and they would tip me so much money at this like little wedding reception. It was only weekends, only worked
How old
weekends.
were you?
I was like 18, 19.
18? That's illegal, isn't it?
I must have been 19.
You were serving
then.
drinks at 18?
Well, no, actually, no. I must have been 19. Yeah. I said 18, 19.
Was that your first job?
It would have been the summer between my first year at X and moving to Halifax. So yeah, no, I was 19.
19, yeah.
Yeah.
You must have been.
Yeah.
So was that your first job?
No.
So the job before that wasn't so fun.
My first... my friends hold this against me because it's really, really lame.
Do you want any weed?
My first job was at Dairy Queen, but my first job only lasted 2 days because there was an incident with the Blizzard machine.
What'd you do? Tell me now.
I turned on the Blizzard machine.
Yeah.
It was set at high speed before I pressed on.
Mm-hmm.
And a mint Oreo Blizzard went everywhere. Like, it just went...
Did it hit any customers?
I don't remember because literally it was so traumatized.
What happened next? Were people mad at you?
Okay, what happened next? My mom quit for me. And then ever since, my friends make fun of me because literally my mother quit my job for me because I was crying and I was like, oh, they're making me work till 11 p.m. and I'm in school still. And like literally that's how codependent my relationship with my parents was. They quit for me.
One time I got my mom to call me off work because I had to get nutsack surgery.
Nutsack surgery?
Yeah, I had to get nutsack surgery. I realized this while it was a slow day at the hardware store one day. And I decided to Google this pain I was getting in my nuts like every so often since I started hitting puberty. And turns out one of my nuts was like suffocating because the cord it's attached to was getting kinked up like a hose. Because your nut's supposed to be attached to the inside of your scroty bag.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, mine wasn't.
Oh,
so it was
shit.
kinking
How did
up.
that happen?
Just a defect. Like my ball's supposed to be attached to my
You
sack.
weren't like doing anything crazy that
No,
made
I
it
didn't
happen
do
that way?
anything. No, it just always happened to me.
Whoa.
Like since I've had nuts. And then the only reason I never cared is because I had one other friend who had the same problem. So I was like, oh, that's just a guy thing. Let's just have it.
Oh, you thought it was normal.
Yeah, it's just having a pair of nuts. I thought everybody gets an ache in their balls every once in a while. And
What does that feel like?
it just ached. I don't know. It wasn't that bad. So I never really bothered to do anything about it. But one day I was so bored at work that I Googled it. And then so I told my mom about it. I was like, I could lose my nut. I got to go to the hospital. And she was like, oh, shit. And then I was like, I don't want to tell them. So she told them. And then, yeah, she was like, yes.
Okay.
I was like,
bad.
hiding at work, and then she was like, she called him, and was like, yeah, he's gotta leave, and he's like, what's it about? He's like, it's something about his nuts, and he was like, oh, okay, I won't say no more, and then they just like secretly.
That's not. I feel like that's not as bad as mine.
No, it's not as bad at all.
No.
But I got a staple, and the other day I was feeling my nuts for lumps, and then I felt the staple, and I got super scared that I found a lump.
The other day?
Yeah, like probably a couple days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like to have balls.
No, you probably couldn't.
No, like
There's no fucking way you could.
I mean, like.
Don't even try.
Yeah.
I can't picture having a vagina. It's just like having an innie dick. I don't know.
I feel like having balls is definitely better than having a vagina, even though like the
balls
pain.
are like just like a little side. It's like I don't know what's it called when you have
A
like
dongle?
what's it called when you have like a leaf on top of a meal? It's like
Garnish.
Yeah, balls are like a garnish to the dick.
But when you hit them, it really hurts.
Yeah, it's a weak spot. Like every boss in a video game has a weak spot, and like every guy. Like I had a joke recently, and I might not ever do it again, but it was like, I'm just gonna carry a spoon around with me at all times, so in case someone mugs me, I can be like, whoa, back the fuck up, and then hopefully they're surprised enough and caught off guard by a spoon that I can kick them in the balls and then run away. Because they probably have balls. Women don't usually mug people.
No, we don't.
Women aren't very violent. That's what I like about them.
We're just violent emotionally.
Yeah, that can be just as bad. Women, there's like
But men are both.
Yeah, well, anybody can be both.
Anybody can be both. But we don't kill as many people as you guys do.
No, we're way more violent.
Yeah. Every time I hear of like a female murderer, I kind of secretly I'm like, good for her.
There's a movie about that, like Monster. I've never seen it, but apparently
Charlize Theron.
It's a very sympathetic portrayal of a serial killer, which
I heard about this. Yeah.
Could be interpreted as kind of insensitive if you're like a family member.
Yeah, that would be bad.
I think that movie with Mark Wahlberg and The Rock, where like they're playing bodybuilders that were also hitmen, and then it was like they were kind of the protagonists. I never seen it, so I'm just talking my ass. But if that's true and you're kind of on their side in the movie, that's fucking really insensitive too to the families whoever those real life bodybuilders they're based on killed.
No, yeah, that would be. Yeah, not a fan. What else? We're at 3 hours. I'm trying to think of what else I have to ask you.
Probably, I've been smoking weed the entire time.
You're into mushrooms, right?
Yeah, me and my buddy. Holy shit. We just did mushrooms this weekend. I decided a good setting would be downtown Halifax. And he has not been accustomed to city life. He's just been planting trees in Antigonish for like... He's like been doing what you should. The perfect setting on mushrooms has been his life for like the last 6 months.
And then
I'm like, we should do 3 grams and walk from Lacewood to downtown Halifax.
Why didn't you go on the wilderness? Chain of Lakes is right there.
That's what he wanted to do, but I was like, this will be fun. This will be what I do.
Oh my god.
And he got scared.
I heard about this. Have you had positive, like you personally, have you had positive experiences on them?
They were all positive, yeah, for sure.
No dark, weird trips?
Weirdly enough, the only dark, weird trip I ever had was on 0.5 grams. And usually I do 3 grams and I'm fine, which is kind of a lot.
I don't really, like when you say gram,
3 grams is kind of a lot. If you, like for you, I would recommend like 1 gram, but I don't know. Like
1? Is that even too much?
No, that's like, it'll be more intense than weed for sure, but it might be in the ballpark.
Because like I have a high sensitivity to edibles.
Yeah, like I know, like.
P.S. I have some old edibles if you want them. From
the fact that you call them old edibles is not selling.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, I don't really give a shit. These are either being thrown out or someone can eat them. Either one. I mean, they're from the start of quarantine. So like, yeah.
Like new at the start of quarantine?
Actually, hang on. Let me go get them.
Oh, great. I got to carry the show now. I don't trust anything anybody makes.
They're strong as fuck.
They're strong as fuck? Well, how much did you say they were milligram wise in each one?
Oh, see, that's the thing I don't know.
She had no answer?
I
don't.
But they're strong. They're strong.
I can't take it. Because I could be high for my shift tomorrow that starts at 7 p.m.
Yeah, no.
You never know. With edibles people make, I want a package that says what it's in. I know what 20 milligrams is.
All I know is that I had a quarter of a cookie, and this is what happened. So I took the cookie, and I was like, okay, sweet. And I was just finishing up exporting and about to publish my episode of a podcast. And you have to fill out like in Libsyn, like title, description, like you have to fill out all this stuff. And I remember hitting export and it started to kick in as I hit export. And then it took me about a solid hour to actually get my episode. Because I got so fucking high that every single task I did, it was just like, Sarah,
an epic journey.
You got to copy and paste what you normally put in the description. Put it in. Okay, sweet. You got to find the image. Put it in. Like it. And then the episode got published, and I was like, okay, now I have to take off my makeup, brush my teeth, go to bed. Like my nighttime routine became like the journey to Mordor from Lord of the Rings. Truly, like I got so. And the thing is with me and edibles, every time I'm taking edibles, my heart races.
I think you would have a very similar experience on mushrooms. It does feel like everything is an epic narrative journey. Like this is slow. The most important. Like
slow.
If your life was a movie, you're living a scene right now. Like it hits you, which is like that's the change in perspective. Like you got to take life more seriously. Is what it tells you is like these little moments actually add up to a lot because that's what your life is the little moments because you forget them. The little moments you forget, but not while you're in them.
Yeah, that's very true. I also was scared to I found myself almost passing out, and I kept going, you're going to die if you pass out. You're going to die if you pass out. You're going to die if you pass. I kept feeling, this is so weird, I was feeling death come upon me.
Yeah.
As I was passing out. Like, I had no concept of, I'm just going to sleep and wake up and it'll be tomorrow. I just kept going, like, if you close your eyes, you're done. That's how high I got.
A heavy dose of edibles is a lot like a psychedelic, and that will make you question your mortality. What it does, like, it destroys your ego.
Ego.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, you get completely detached from your own identity, what
I
you
do
think
wanna
you
feel
are,
happy,
and then you're
though.
just thoughts in the ether, and you're like, "What is this? What'll happen when my body's dead? Am I just stuck thinking, or whatever your mind?"
I've
goes
heard
to.
a lot of people talk about how it makes you just feel connected to everything.
Yeah.
And, like, that's something that, like, I want to experience at some point. If it's a
It
happy,
definitely
connected
does.
feeling.
Do not go downtown like we did.
I just don't want my heart to race. That's all I ask. I'm okay with a body high. The heart racing.
Just
I
if you
hate.
are even focused on it, your heart will race because it's the thing you're fixated on. But like, you just gotta let go of that. Like, this is what it feels like. The best way to describe it is you feel like a curious monkey. It kind of brings you back to your childhood awe of the world.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Everything is like new and exciting, and you appreciate just
everything.
Yeah.
I gotta do
that
that.
nature is the best way to do it. You don't want to eat greasy food. Fruit is fucking amazing to eat. Like a pineapple or something.
Or like an apple.
Yeah, just fucking nature. Get in nature.
Oh, I like that.
I took my friend to the worst possible setting, and I feel horrible about it. What
did you do to calm? Like, did you do anything to?
Yeah, I was just like, I think I was pretty a stable presence. Like, I was like, it's okay, man. Like, I don't know. I can't do my impression of what I was like on. It's okay, man. That's all a guy has to do to a friend.
Chill out.
Take a breather. Just sit down. The whole issue was he really had to pee really bad for most of the trip. But we didn't want to go into a restaurant and commit ourselves to a table and be like tied down to a location. He ended up asking a construction worker, like, where can I go to the bathroom? I want to take him to the porta potties by like the Beaver Tails, like down by
on the waterfront.
wave. Yeah, the waterfront.
Yeah,
that'd be a nice place, like just kids and happiness. And then he asked his construction worker, like, I need to go to the bathroom, and he told him to go to that Tim Hortons. That's down by the ferry.
Yes.
Yeah, and he just went down there, and it's a little sketchier of an area, and he had a fucking near panic attack. He's like, I want to get a cab home. I got him up to Argyle. That was my whole goal, to go to Argyle, because that's like the funnest place. And he heard a guy playing Freebird at auction house, and that like brought him back from the brink of a panic attack, because he's really into music. So like, and it fucking like, I have never gone to a music thing and been like into it and like doing stuff like musically. I fucking hate dancing. I can't. I just look.
But you were into it then.
Very Caucasian, and I hate it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was playing Freebird, and we were like coming down off 3 grams of mushrooms. I had a good trip, like the whole time. It was fun.
I gotta do them. Scott McLean.
You gotta be smart.
Yeah.
I think you should do them with Scott. You seem to have a good
I trust
relationship
Scott.
with him. You don't want to do them with someone like me, someone you don't know as well.
I know you pretty well now.
Yeah, but
we just talked straight for 3 hours.
Yeah. I mean, we click well, but it should be someone you know very well.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want to be
We'll do mushrooms
worried
together
about...
this time next year.
Sure, yeah. When do you plan on doing them for the first time?
Well, that's the thing. I kind of want to do them before the summer's done, because I'm feeling like the summer has been just like a summer of like new experiences. And I'm like, okay, I did stand up.
Summer's the time to do mushrooms.
Yeah, I'd like to do them when it's still nice. And I don't know where. I just know that I think I want... This sounds cheesy, but like I want to come home into my home. Like I don't know if I want to like go somewhere and stay overnight.
You want to... You could do 1 gram
Ideally?
in here by yourself. That might be pretty safe.
You think?
I
Because a
think
lot
so.
of people suggest like being outside for them.
Yeah, like nature is a lot more rewarding.
Here's my
but
ideal
if you're
situation.
just trying to feel like, because you seem like kind of anxious. Would you say you're an anxious person? Sorry if you disagree. I'm so sorry if you disagree.
understatement of the fucking word. I just want that sound clip. Would you say you're anxious? Yes. I'm constantly questioning my existence. Yes, I am 100%.
So you got to be fucking careful with psychedelics, is what I'm saying.
So here's
1 gram by yourself in here, I think would be good, but I'm almost scared to recommend anything to you because it could go south either way. Like, it could go either way. It could be the most life-changing thing ever, and you could love it, and it could fix all your problems, but you can't go in expecting that. Like, maybe 1 gram by yourself isn't a bad idea. 1 gram with someone else who's not on them.
Here's my
who
ideal,
knows you well.
my
Do them with
ideal
Scott.
mushroom day, and this is my request if I do mushrooms with friends. I need a sober person with a car to drive me to the beach.
Yeah, that would be great.
We do it on the beach at, what time of day?
You should do it before the beach on the drive over because it takes about an hour to hit.
Okay, so I take them on the drive there.
On the way there, you're going to feel really uneasy. That's what the come-up's like.
God.
For like an hour, you're going to be maybe a little nauseous and like scared. And
I don't like that
you'll
at all.
feel dread, yeah. But that doesn't mean it's going to be a bad trip. The best trips ever, sometimes that's just what happens before. So in the car over, it's like if it's an hour drive to whatever beach or whatever, you're going to be feeling that in the car. Then once you get to the beach, that's when that anxiousness is going to be wearing off anyway. And then there's going to be so much relief. And then you'll have a huge connection to nature if you're looking at the tide.
I actually think
that's a great idea.
If that's the case, though, I think we go to the beach at, like, say, 4 or 5 p.m., and I don't take them in the car because I don't want to be anxious in the car because the cars, I'm already anxious in the car.
That would be pretty claustrophobic. You might.
So I say I take them as soon as I get to the beach, but we spend a couple hours at the beach.
Yeah, if you're willing to stay at the beach all day, yeah, you should take them at the beach.
I want sunset hour.
Okay, you should take them.
Sunset hour.
It's like you want to see the sunset when you're like peeking on them.
Yes. So
then whenever the sunset is like
8ish, 8:30.
Then like an hour and a half before that, maybe.
And then when I'm high, I get driven home to my home, and I can be home where I'm safe.
Well, one of the cool things about mushrooms is it lasts about 6. It's like 4.
Fuck.
I'd say 4 to 7 hours. 7 hours is rare. Like, but maybe a little bit. But like, it's not like weed where you get burnt out. You don't get burnt. You feel kind of like fresh. You feel like rejuvenated a bit. Like, this is a good trip. I haven't had really bad trips or anything.
I really got to make this happen soon.
It's
maybe I'll do a pre and post podcast.
It can be life changing, but you might get disappointed if you go in there expecting that. It's usually not.
It's mostly just.
But the
nice.
the change in perspective, like, and just you get a different level of appreciation for just the gifts you have. You just.
I think I need that right now.
Yeah.
I think I do. Like I think I want that, but I think I need it, and that makes me nervous too. Because like, will I get what I need?
You roll the dice. It could go either way.
That's fucking.
It's
wild.
a huge risk. Yeah, it's a risk reward thing. Yeah, it's a big decision.
Okay, we're gonna fucking wrap this. But I'm gonna ask you 3 questions that I normally end these with.
Yeah.
Which is something that you love about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you don't like about yourself that you're working on, and an unpopular opinion.
So what I like about myself is I think if I can focus really hard on something, I can really like excel at anything I really put my mind to. And then what I don't like about myself is it's really fucking hard to focus on anything.
I love how those are like at war with each other.
They are completely. So
like
it could go either way.
Yeah.
Sometimes one's winning and the other's not, and it switches.
The focus thing is such a struggle.
Yeah, it really is.
Like
I can get lazy and distracted and fucking consumed by vices pretty easily. I kind of have that in my blood. I come from a bloodline of addicts.
Another episode for another time.
Yeah.
You'll have to come back on. But what do you have an unpopular opinion? And this doesn't have to be serious. It can be serious if you want. Something that like you think that you feel the majority don't agree with.
Okay, like this question, you always say this, and it's a risky one.
It is risky.
Nobody I've seen really has gone for like a controversial thing.
No one has.
I don't think I have anything that controversial to say, but I'll stand by it. I think people should go a little easier on Kanye West. I mean, he has.
I did not know what was about to come out of your mouth. I was like, oh God, where are we going? Okay, people should go easier on him.
He's bipolar.
Oh, absolutely.
And
it's
like,
the same thing with Britney Spears. These are mentally ill people.
Yeah, and like people who hold Kanye to the harshest degree is like they're forgetting the fact that he has a mental illness. Like you become manic. A symptom of mania in bipolar is delusions of grandeur, and he is one of the most influential artists of all time. It's a miracle he is as humble as he is.
Well, very true.
And
do you think he's
if you hate on him online, you're fucking deteriorating.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like that's I would agree. Honestly, I would.
I think we need more sympathy.
We need more awareness of why people are the way. I think people are too quick to go. They said or did this thing, so they're crazy, or like fuck them. But like we don't have enough. Like, well, why did they do that? Like, what's going on?
Some mental illnesses make you do things that are unlikable.
Yep.
And that's not your fault, and you should have sympathy for those people. But because they come off as assholes, it's like, yeah, he has that thing, but fuck him. Look at how ignorant this thing he said was. It's like, yeah, but you don't get mad at schizophrenic people for hearing voices.
No, it's just because he has that platform that all eyes are on him.
He like potentially the crazy rantings that he says if he's in a manic state or whatever is like. That can have a really big negative influence. It is a big risk on that, but that's with everybody. Like the platforms are so numerous and powerful that it's scary.
Yeah, I know that's true.
Many people have
fame in general
influence over so many people.
Fame is insane. Like, a lot of people. Ooh, I'm gonna say something controversial. Like a lot of people really poo-poo people like Paris Hilton. She's coming out with a YouTube documentary about her life where she's going to open up about things that were done to her as a young girl. Like actual trauma things. Like growing up.
That would explain a lot.
She actually went through trauma that made her develop the character of Paris Hilton that made her famous. It was really dark. It was a defense mechanism. Young people with trauma.
Man. I want to see that documentary.
Yeah.
That sounds really engaging. And it's kind of a little bit perverse to be like, that's fucked up, but I want to see.
Oh, absolutely.
But at the same time, it's like, well, if she's putting this out.
Yeah.
This is the story she wants to be heard. So
yeah,
I would feel morally good watching it.
And that's the thing about it. Like childhood trauma is insane. And how you cope with childhood trauma. These characters that you put on, it's literally a defense mechanism and a coping mechanism because you're trying to survive.
Yeah, that's what people with multiple personality disorder. It's like those people, most of the cases, severe trauma, and the other personality is like a defense mechanism. Like if someone was victimized to just like such a gratuitous degree, they just develop like, I don't know, like a tough guy persona that can protect the weaker one from the predators.
You gotta watch
Split?
You got I feel like me making the suggestion is now going to spoil the show for you, so I'm actually not gonna suggest it.
All right, hopefully I run into it someday without knowing it, and then
and now me telling you that it was a spoiler. And now
just tell me, I won't watch it. Fuck
Mr. Robot.
Okay, so he's an artificial intelligence. That's what I...
No.
No?
No. You gotta watch it.
Okay, I'll watch it. I already forget what the spoiler thing was from 12 seconds ago. I can't believe words are still coming out of my mouth at this point.
Okay, we are at 3.5 hours.
Are you serious? This must be the record.
This might be, we're going to cut out the bathroom break, so that would be maybe not even 5. So this might be the longest ever intoxicated. I don't give a shit. I'll fucking post all of it. I truly don't care.
Fuck yeah.
This was an utter treat.
Who knows what I said? I might have ruined my life. Whatever.
I feel like I got like a little contact high off of all the weed too.
Oh, I've been blowing weed in your face for 3 hours. You're definitely high as shit. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, Thomas Kennedy.
Yes.
What a debut. Thank you so much for coming.
Can't believe you remembered my stage name after all that. weed I blew in your face.
It came out really naturally too. I think I'm just
There you
gonna
go.
call you that from now on. Thank you so much for coming over and coming on.
Oh man, it's been a
This was wild.
6-month-long dream of mine.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well,
Yeah.
big thank you for like supporting the show, and obviously like we're both doing the comedy thing. I feel like you've been doing it longer than me, but I feel like it's something fun that like we're experiencing together, like doing open mics and stuff.
If we're both still doing it in 10 years, the little bit more I've been doing it will be irrelevant at that point.
That's very true. Because right now things are ramped up so much. That everyone, and that was like one of the things that Travis told me, which made me do it. Which was like, listen, everyone's rusty. Even the pros are rusty. If you start now,
that's the beauty of it.
You're starting at a similar level, like because everyone's at square one.
I started late, like even into when it came back. So I've always been like, I've had a lot of imposter syndrome because I've like had to take a lot of hiatuses and like. Living in Sydney, it was a miracle that they opened a mic there. That was fucking a lifeblood for my stand-up. But it was still just once a week.
Right.
But like, yeah, I might have like the least amount of sets of everybody in the scene.
I think for both of us, we got to take the pressure off.
Yeah.
And we got to just enjoy it.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's...
I wish I didn't say that just now.
Well, I mean, I think striving to be better is certainly important, but...
Exactly.
But
yeah.
I think the more you... if something is more stressful than fun...
It's definitely...
It's time to...
It's definitely fun.
You know? Yeah. And that's it.
For sure. I'm having the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
Has been since coming back. Like, just... I've been showing up to shows before I've gotten sets, and just ever since... I started like just coming out regularly to every show. It's just been like, oh my God, this is fucking heaven. And it'll go away and then probably come back. But whatever.
Know, right?
Whatever. It'll come back. It'll be a blip of time in the grand scheme of our whole lives.
This too shall pass.
Yeah. Like if this vaccine takes 2 years, sure, that's a lot of time. It's like, fuck. You could go to jail for 2 years. Shit happens. You just got to move on.
Yeah.
Like life will go on after this. A vaccine, it'll just be, you got to get 2 shots every winter instead of 1 for the flu.
Oh
you just get 2 shots. You get your COVID shot and you get your flu shot.
That's right.
So what? Life goes on.
Life goes on.
And I think we're all going to be way more aware about infection control, and we're just going to have less contraction of diseases in general. We're going to see probably a huge bump in mortality rates. No, the opposite of that. A huge valley in mortality rates. I caught it quick. My mistake. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This was okay. So important question. Where can people follow you on social media?
At I'm Thomas Now on Instagram.
And please follow him because he needs. I only say that because you're new to it.
I mean, I don't blame you if you don't. I got 2 posts. I'm not really a hot candidate to be followed, but I'm gonna try.
It's
mandatory to be a comedian.
Expect some sound clips with subtitles, like a typical comedian.
Yeah, I need to have that. I got some footage.
You do? You send me that fucking video so I can edit it for you.
Yeah, I just learned how to Dropbox. Albert's demanding the clip I took of him.
I swear to God, you and Adrian Great Gabriel, I'm shocked at how much you guys don't know about Dropbox or like OneDrive. Both of you, you're both like, how do I do this?
I can't believe how fucking hard it is to send a 5-minute video to someone. I thought this shit was supposed to be figured out by now. I don't know. I've been a boomer until like I'm still a boomer. Yeah.
It should be just be like send to.
Yeah. Is it just because it's a high quality video? Like,
yeah, I think so. And
well, I'd rather it be low quality. I guess not. If he wants it to be good, I don't know. Fucking.
You don't want low quality. You want high quality.
Yeah, that's true. Whatever.
We're gonna close the episode before my computer runs out of space for the file. So follow him on Instagram. Please come to live comedy shows. You can see probably either one of us on random shows here and there if I stick with it, which I might not. Who knows? If I do, sweet. If I don't, sweet. Because nothing matters. And that is the point of this episode.
What, nihilism? I didn't sign up for that.
But, Thomas, you get to ring the bell. And you need to make it a good one. That's it. 3:33.
You think anyone's still listening?